So Adam's checkered haunting past finally caught up with them. We got him out of the studio. And today's a special day for the Average Nobody's podcast. Mm-hmm. We have myself, Ryan, we have Matt, and we have Justine Mello in studio, our number one fan now. Super fan. Who always listens religiously to all our podcasts, and now she's in studio ready to contribute. Justine, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. I had to beat Mike D. You said you're going to have him on here, so can't let him one-up me.
No, Mike D will never be allowed in this building.
No.
And our next surprise, Mike D is here.
Parachutes in from the ceiling. So this is a special episode of the Average Nobody's podcast. We're going to keep things going as normal. We have the same setup. This is episode number 131. Today's date is September 23rd, 2021. You can find us on AverageNobodies.com. We are at Average Nobodies on Twitter. As far as listening, we are everywhere podcasts are sold, even though you don't have to pay for it. Stitcher Radio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. And now let's get to our first segment.
Yes. Oh, no.
Whoopsie daisy!
So this is a new segment. We started it last week. And actually, this was a segment started.
Inspired by Justine because of how terrible we are. Because
I'm so mean to you after I listened to every episode.
Well, we came to a collective realization last week that it's because someone will say something and we just say, yep, and then we power on.
there's never, they're like, the first thing that someone says is just like, yeah, that was it. We're just going to keep
That was it. Macaulay Culkin, he was in Stand By Me.
Oh my God.
He died.
I don't know if I've ever been that mad.
So are there any that you can remember from the past 130 episodes?
I don't remember any from last week, unless you want to include not using The Bodyguard or Top Gun in your top picks as a whoopsie. Because I would. I'm sure Lindy would too. Maybe not a Top Gun.
Lindy considered not using The Bodyguard as a big whoopsie, I would say.
But the biggest whoopsie I can think of was I don't remember what episode it was, but you guys could not get straight the Batman movies. Who was playing Batman and who was the villain.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting on my couch listening to it, like, fuming. You know, it was, I told you to say this the other day, you know the episode of It's Always Sunny where they do the dentist system? And they're all doing it wrong in the end. He comes running and going, wrong. That's just me sitting there listening to it sometimes.
Just getting infuriated.
Oh
So it was Batman Forever and Batman Returns. We were mixing those two up, I think.
Yeah, I think we also mixed up, though, the 89 Batman.
And you mixed up the villains for each one. I think you...
all of them, yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
We packed all of them into George Clooney's Batman.
Oh my God.
Like, wasn't it? It was Mr. Freeze, it was Penguin, it was
Riddler,
Catwoman, it was Riddler.
Two-Face.
They were all in that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So like the Val Kilmer Batman is it's just a lovely movie.
It's just him by himself.
It's just Val Kilmer.
No, him and Chris O'Donnell, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the Chris
Wait, was that
O'Donnell
actually? I was making a joke but that was the one with Chris O'Donnell. Okay.
That was Forever.
Okay.
Returns was still Michael Keaton. So Batman was Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Joker, obviously. Returns was Michael Keaton. Catwoman, Penguin.
Right.
Forever was Val Kilmer, Robin, Chris O'Donnell, and that was the one with Two-Face and the Riddler.
So Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Batman and Robin was Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Bane, and Alicia Silverstone was there.
But still Chris O'Donnell.
But still Chris O'Donnell.
Okay, so that was what we were, right. Because he spans
and the oldest
2
butler of that, like the oldest man.
Added very little.
Like, how is he still working at Wayne Manor?
Mr. Wayne.
Perfect imitation.
Thank you. I've been waiting for the opportunity for that.
All right, so we're going to get the whoopsies live on this show, though.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
That'll be that. Ryan.
It's my turn.
It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Celebrity Birthdays.
Who is it?
So we have our super number one fan, Justine Mello, in studio. I do want to give a special shout out to Mike D and Brianna. They've been listening religiously lately, and I get a text from Mike D after every episode. So Mike,
is it a nicer text than the one I sent?
Yeah.
It's like nice and encouraging.
Well, Mike loves the draft
and
segment.
me, I'm like...
So Mike listens not only for the draft, but he's like, I love the addition of the draft segment. Like, I always do my own after you guys do yours, but Brianna listens for the celebrity birthdays. I guess Brianna's a big celebrity birthday fan. So a lot of pressure.
Is she a fan of the call?
I think she is. Oh, that's right. So
we have to get.
I need to hear the cause.
Call calibration.
Justine, what are you going to use as your call?
Caw.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
That's how I call.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the single.
That's a good call. Caw. All right, so we have September 23rd birthdays today. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not the best. I had to dig deep, aka under the ground.
How many are alive?
There are 2 dead people, and I'm not going to tell you if they're dead before I do the riddle.
Are we gonna get majority of just character names?
No,
Not.
so you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll probably get 6 of the 8.
Oh, okay.
There'll be probably 2 that you might not get. I included 1 because he's on a very popular show. I don't know if you'll get him or not, but we'll see. I don't know who he is. Without further ado, celebrity birthdays.
Justine has a chance to pass Mitch today
She
in
does.
points.
Oh boy.
What does Mitch have?
How
2?
many times has Mitch actually been here?
Biggie
I have curiosity.
twice.
No, he was here for a lot at
Yeah,
the beginning,
Yeah.
but he just wouldn't participate.
Yeah,
in
I just
some of
pictured
it.
him like doing something else.
Well,
Like, entirely while you
It was
guys
very
were
funny.
there.
The first time we did, he was here for celebrity birthdays. I was like, listen, the only thing you really have, like, just make sure everything's running right. But the only thing you really have to do is watch the screen because Adam and Ryan were Skyping in at the time. I'm like, just see who raises their hand first. And the first one, they go, and it was close. And I'm like, Mitch, who was it? He goes, oh, I don't know. didn't I'm sure you
I
listened to
remember
it.
one.
Yeah.
He said someone. It was like clearly the opposite
Oh,
person.
so-
He was like Ryan, and everyone was like, "No, it was clearly Adam." What are you talking about?
That was the same.
'Cause I think it was Ryan, and Adam's hand was up a full second.
Like
and
your
a
hand
half.
didn't even. Like,
Yeah.
You didn't even raise
I don't
your
even know if
hand
I
for it.
raised my hand. Okay, let's get started. This actor doesn't hail from Atlanta, but he is a Falcon, a man who wears many hats, including rap battling Eminem,
Caw-caw.
defusing bombs in Iraq, and befriending Mr. Rogers, but not the one
Oh, wait.
from the neighborhood.
call.
Well, Justine, call.
No, you go ahead. I was thinking of someone else.
I'm on the back call.
The back call?
Yeah.
No, Matt, you go ahead.
Anthony Mackie.
It is.
I forgot his name like the second.
Hey, there's pressure when you do it
It's
in
so
studio.
much pressure
It
live.
is. That is wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, it is. It is Anthony Mackie. Never seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but my sources tell me he was the Falcon.
But haven't you seen any of the Avengers movies?
I have not. He was Papa Doc in 8 Mile.
Yes.
He was in The Hurt Locker.
Yes.
And the last part of the riddle was also from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, Matt, since you got the right guess, how old is Anthony Mackie today?
See, now I feel like he was like, I want to say early 20s in 8 Mile.
I feel like he looks younger than he is.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to go with, I think he had a milestone birthday. I think he turned 40.
Justine?
I'm going to say 42.
43.
Oh, damn.
43. So you're both wrong.
Yeah. Not to brag, but one time I met Mekhi Phifer in Las Vegas. Adam and I both did. And by met, we saw him waiting for a taxi, and we were like, that's Mekhi Phifer.
Did you say hi?
No.
I was in a bar with Anthony Mackie in New York.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't talk to him, obviously.
Was that like,
I left him alone. That's what you do there. You know?
That's what you do in New York. Especially when you're
try,
in New York.
You try not cool.
you don't accost them on the street?
No. You don't accost him on the street and force him to take a picture with you.
I mean, we didn't force him.
didn't
He was
force him.
taking pictures with other people.
He looked-
Did Ryan try and put his arm around him a few too many
He
times?
looked like he
Yes.
was being held prisoner. Like if he was holding up a newspaper, it would have
Back-
made more sense.
Backstory: Adam and I, Ryan and I met Bryan Cranston on the streets in New York.
Met.
Yeah, well, we ran into him, and he was coming out of one of he was Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah.
in a play, and Ryan, we took a picture with him, but he was taking pictures with other people, and his security was with him, and Ryan kept trying to put his arm around him, and the security guard kept swatting his arm down,
I was undeterred.
and so that was the face. It's because he's like, this guy's touching me.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if he just spoke to me for a couple of minutes, he wouldn't.
But weren't you guys like really high?
Yes.
Yeah, and I told him I loved you in Godzilla.
Hey, it was after Billy Joel. Our
Not what he
spirits were
hears
high.
a lot of.
Definitely not.
I loved you
For
in
the 20
Godzilla.
minutes he was in Godzilla.
'Cause this was post Breaking Bad, too.
Yeah, right. So
You'd think usually.
I think that would be the one.
All right. Next celebrity birthday. This singer-songwriter was born in the USA with a hungry heart, and he'll no doubtedly be dancing in the dark tonight while reliving his glory days.
Coco? Matt.
I think it was Justine.
No, I think it was you.
I think you got it first, yeah.
Okay. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
I saw that Steve Van Zandt was wishing me a happy birthday today on Twitter because I follow him and not Bruce. But I don't know.
Bruce
how
doesn't
old
really
Bruce
tweet.
is. I don't know how old he is.
Well, it's his birthday today. Legendary singer-songwriter. How old is Bruce Springsteen
Puts on
today?
a hell of a
I
content.
feel like he's
does.
old.
does put on a hell of a concert.
I'm gonna say he's 72.
Okay.
I'm going to say 70.
Bruce Springsteen is 72.
Whoa!
Let's go.
Hey, big age guess for the Matt. What a great guess. That's a true Springsteen fan.
Yeah, I mean, he puts on a hell of a show. I mean, it's embarrassing how little of his catalog I really know.
Yeah.
But that show we went to was great.
I don't like.
Play the hits.
Yeah, I don't like when he plays new stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
does.
I don't want to hear that.
That's not why we're here.
but some Bruce Springsteen fans though like that.
Yeah.
They like the deep cuts. They like to
they
know
take
that
pride.
Yeah.
I don't mind a deep cut, but I don't want like stop making new stuff. Like,
Yeah.
we want your old stuff.
Yeah, I mean, how long did he play for? Like, honestly, when we
Over
went to go
4
see him?
hours.
And this was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah,
it was
actually.
crazy. He just kept going, and he kept just like going up to the fans and being like, "What do you want me to play?" It's pretty awesome.
And like the band would just jam. It would be like 15, 20-minute songs. And they were just so good.
Didn't you guys do a drinking with class there?
Yeah, we did.
He did. Mike Nesmith attacked Ryan.
Yes, scared the crap out of me. It's a large man to sneak up behind you.
Very good.
Okay, next celebrity birthday. An actor with three... Jesus Christ, come on. Sorry, these phones. An actor with 300 films under his belt, dating back to the silent film era. He's quite short and isn't afraid to get a little racist during Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Caw.
His best friend is a hound, and he even spent a night at the museum. Justine.
Mickey Rooney.
Shit.
That's correct.
And
Mickey
he
Rooney.
is deceased.
Mickey Rooney is dead.
Yeah.
R.I.P. I had to sneak in his character from Breakfast at Tiffany's, even though it's probably not a career highlight for him.
Oh, no.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Very problematic.
Yes. And you know what? Today I convinced myself today that he was one of the Munchkins in Wizard of Oz. Like he was a child.
Why did you convince yourself that?
Because he's so tiny.
You know, him and Judy Garland were like a team.
Yeah.
So if she was in Wizard of Oz,
I
you
know.
thought he was that small.
He was only 5'2" when he
around
was
her?
an adult. So I thought maybe. I mean, the magic of movies. He could have been any height. But I saved myself a whoopsie. He was not a Munchkin in the Wizard of Oz. So, how old would have Mickey Rooney been today if he were still
This
alive?
is hard. I'm going to say he would have been, because he only died recently, right?
2014.
Because he was
I think?
in The Muppets. Remember the end of The Muppets?
Yes. Right.
2017
yes, he did
maybe?
right.
And the end of the first song, he was there.
Yep.
So he was alive then. I'm
Yeah.
going to say he would be 105 if he were alive today.
Okay. I was gonna say he didn't look like tragically old. That's mean, but in the Muppets movie, he looked old.
Yeah,
but
he was old, but he didn't look like. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna say.
Slander Mickey
So you said 105.
Yeah.
105. I'm gonna say he would have been 101 today.
Wow. 101.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
2 age guesses for the Matt.
Ages are hard.
The ages are very hard.
Yeah, that's a.
I'm just happy it wasn't like 150.
He would have been so old. How did you start when you started it? I wanted to jokingly be like Nick Cage. What was the first one?
He has an actor with 300 films under his belt.
Yeah.
Nick Cage is
He's getting.
rapidly approaching that.
yeah.
Okay, next one. A treble maker at heart. You know this actor has an extraordinary playlist set for his birthday with a sound that can only be described as pitch perfect.
Caw.
Justine.
I have 2 guesses here.
Okay. I can only take one.
I'm aware.
You can do a character name too if you're not sure.
Okay. I feel like if it were Adam Devine, you would have mentioned a Workaholics thing. Did you?
He's also getting his own. Adam Devine's getting a spin-off show on Disney Plus.
Is he?
Pitch Perfect. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I did not mention Workaholics.
Not
Give you that
mention
hint.
Workaholics. Or it could be Ben Platt too. I'm going to guess. I'll guess Ben Platt. No,
No.
the other
See,
one.
I can reread it.
I
if
don't
you'd
know
like.
the other. I
Can you read?
I'm assuming
it?
it's
Yeah.
It's Anna Kendrick's love interest in it, right?
Yeah,
But I don't know his name.
I forget his name. I remember his name in it though.
Is it Benji?
No, that was Ben Platt, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't
Jesse?
know.
Was the name Jesse in it?
Okay.
The character name is Jesse. That's
Character
half a
name's
point.
Jesse. I know his name, and it's gonna drive me crazy. 'cause
A treble maker at heart.
He's married to what's her face, the other one.
You know this actor has an extraordinary playlist set for his birthday with a sound that can only be described as pitch perfect. I mean, you guys know who it is. You probably
Yeah.
don't
He's
know.
married to somebody else in Pitch Perfect?
Yeah, to the one who was like the leader of the Bellas. What's her real name? Drive me
yeah.
crazy.
Oh,
and
God.
she was Pam's sister. in
Something
The Office.
Snow. Brittany Snow.
No, the other one.
Oh, the other one. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, I know Pam's.
According to
sister.
Holly, they got
That's
divorced.
Oh, really? Oh, it's too bad.
I don't know if Holly's yanking my chain. Not that I would care either way,
all.
but
Love is dead.
Yeah, I don't know why you would care about them, but
no, can't get the actor name.
no, I
So
can't.
it is Jesse from Pitch Perfect. His real name is Skylar Aston,
Yeah,
younger brother of Sean Aston.
no,
Not true.
that's not.
it is.
That's a whoopsie.
How old is Skylar Aston today?
I think he's 35.
Matt?
I'm gonna say he was like 20. Ooh. I'm gonna say he was like 26 in Pitch Perfect. I think. And so I'm gonna say.
Interesting.
Count backwards, divide by 6. Tell you what, nothing our listeners love better than
Listen to
math in your head.
I'm gonna say he's. What did you say, Justine?
I said 35.
I'm gonna say he's 38.
34.
Oh, I was almost said 34.
I thought you were going to say it. You had the.
And then I was like, no, that's too close to my age.
So he was way younger.
So you went one higher. Yes, he was 34. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. 2 of the 4.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to get. Wait, I'm just going to do this one. You might find this birthday boy downtown, or should I say Downton. He's English and has particular disdain for the wealthy, particularly those with the last name Crawley.
Okay, Cacaw. I'm trying to think of who it could be.
That wasn't your cacaw.
I could.
Oh, you got
I
it?
could. No.
Oh.
No, I mean, that wasn't the cacaw we
cacaw,
agreed upon.
cacaw,
Thank you.
cacaw.
Okay.
I could sit here and guess a million names, and I would not get.
I did. It's such a popular
Wait.
show. I didn't want to not include them.
I'm sorry,
it's
can
fine.
you repeat the...
Yes.
I'm trying to think of... I know, I can remember their names. I'm just trying to think of who the character would be, because there's like 25
He's English
characters. Oh, yeah, that solves it.
and has particular disdain for the wealthy,
Disdain for the...
especially those with the last name Crawley.
Okay, so I feel like it's the guy who was also in The Crown. Is it the guy that was also in The Crown? Or no, you can't tell.
I don't think so.
The Crown.
I've never seen the show, so I could be
I
describing
feel like
it
it's not
incorrectly.
the main guy, because you would have brought up... Like, it's not Dan Stevens, right? Dan Stevens?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I figured you would have snuck Eurovision in there, because you really liked that movie.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yes. Oh, he's in Downton Abbey?
The guy who's like the good singer.
No.
Yeah, that guy. What's his name?
If you can guess his profession, I'll give you a quarter of a point.
Okay.
Cobbler.
Was he one of the help? Is it Thomas? Was that his character name? Thomas?
It was.
Ooh.
Thomas Barrow, the
Pulled-
butler.
Pulled that one.
Real
a-
name, Robert James Collier.
Never would have gotten that.
Yeah, and he's literally not in anything else that I could reference. But
No.
Downton Abbey, very popular show.
That's fair.
Yeah, Jess
been
and,
included.
Jess and I watched like
Fair.
all of it.
I've heard it's very good.
It's, I mean, okay, it's not. It's like a British soap opera, but because they're British, it makes it seem like it's more serious than it is.
Well, so now after
But
watching Ted
it's
Lasso,
very
I'm interested
enjoyable.
in that accent.
Oh, yeah. That's what draws you in.
It's the accent. All right, Robert James Collier, how old is he today?
I'm going to guess he is 44.
Matt?
40, 43.
45.
Damn, I was gonna go the other way. Shit.
I've
been so
been
close.
really close.
Vince, right on. I'll tell you what, the one up or down is a very good strategy in this game.
But it's a risky game.
It is a risky game.
It is risky.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what the risk is. It's
Three-
not
yeah, it's
getting
true.
anyway, but
There's no prize.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
there's risk.
Oh, there's risk.
What happened to Adam?
That's true.
no
Well,
one's
that
heard
was
from him.
more the type of person he is. All right, 3 more. What's wrong with this phone?
Yeah, it's the phone.
So I saved my celebrity birthdays and everything to like a notepad doc,
Yeah.
and now it just doesn't fit the size of my phone.
Wait, what?
You do it a hard copy.
No. It should.
Multiple.
Okay. I can see it now. This actor excels at shallow characters, whether he's accidentally poisoning his fiancée, complaining about shrinkage, questioning his best friend's taste in women, or comically dueling with an orangutan.
All right. Because you said the shrinkage thing, I'm thinking it's Jason Alexander.
That is correct.
Very good.
I put shallow in there because he's very funny in Shallow Hal.
Yes.
And his character.
In Seinfeld
Or
is very
always
shallow. Yes.
shallow.
And I had to throw a Dunstan checks in reference in there.
Had to.
Had to.
All right. How old is Jason Alexander?
Dirk loves Dunstan checks in.
Of course. Pee Wee Herman's in
Not
the
even
movie.
a little bit surprising.
He relates to the orangutan.
Who doesn't?
I know.
Dunstan
He
check.
just wants to have fun in the big city.
Jason Alexander is 54 years old. I think he's probably older than that, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
He's... I'm going to say he's 60.
Jason Alexander is 62. All right, two more. While this actor has had many small roles on various TV shows, you would remember him best as the golden-haired quarterback of the Titans.
Oh, Paul Walker. No. Fuck.
No.
No,
I was
it's
gonna
not
say
Paul Walker.
Walker, isn't it?
You probably don't know the actor, but the character name is very...
I have no idea what the character name is.
Shit, what is his name?
I'll accept the nickname, too.
Yeah. I don't know.
While this actor has had many small roles on various TV shows, you would remember him best as the golden-haired
We know what you're
quarterback
going for
of the
there,
Titans.
Ryan. We get it. It's the other
There's
guy.
an
from Remember
important
the
part
Titans.
in that.
Yeah.
Which is nickname.
Remember in Titans?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, say it again?
While this actor has had many small roles on various TV shows, you would remember him best as the golden-haired quarterback of the Titans.
Oh, Sunshine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn. Fucking shit.
Ronnie Bass
Yes.
is
right.
the name, but his nickname is Sunshine because he has long, flowing blonde hair.
Right.
He was the quarterback of the Titans. Remember the Titans. This is the movie I was referencing.
Oh, we
With
got
Denzel
it.
Washington.
Don't worry.
Surprised you guys didn't get the actor name. Kip Pardue
No.
is his
It's one of my
name.
favorites.
His given name. How old is Kip Pardue today?
Oh, I know exactly how old he is.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. 49.
No.
100%.
45.
It's not a trick.
Oh, so close. 46.
Ah, shit.
One off. All right, final one. You guys will definitely get this one. Ask this singer-songwriter about his debilitating heroin addiction, and he'll tell you to hit the road, Jack. He may not be able to see, but Georgia is always on his mind.
Call.
Oh.
Buck Cherry? Wait.
Oh,
Wait, Cacaw?
Yeah.
Is it Ray Charles?
the hell is Buck Cherry?
No, but with the read the first song. What was the first song you did?
Hit the road, Jack?
Yeah, that's
Ray Charles.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure originally?
I don't know. I think so. He did it a long time
But the
ago.
Georgia on my mind wasn't.
I don't know that song.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I do, but
No, it was Ray Charles.
oh yeah, all right.
But Ray Charles is deceased.
Yes.
How old would have Ray Charles been today?
Sure, it's not Buck Cherry.
Ray Charles would have been. I have no idea. When did Ray Charles die?
I don't know. I can let you know.
No, it's okay. That's cheating, I guess.
No, not really. You don't know how old he was. when
No,
he
I
died.
don't. I don't. But
Ray Charles died in 2004.
so my guess is that he would be. Hmm. 120 years old.
120.
I'm just trying to think of how old. I feel like he was old, but
just-
now I'm probably wrong.
To defend myself, I meant Chuck Berry, not the
Okay, I had no idea.
not the rock group from 2005. I'm still wrong, but I got that flipped. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I feel like he was really old, I mean, unless I'm just not thinking right.
when did he die?
2004.
Okay. I'm gonna say he's. Oh, wait, Justine, are you going with 120?
I mean, well, now I have to. I
Yeah,
said
we
it,
have
right?
to accept it.
108.
91. He would have been 91 today.
Seriously,
Oh,
how old was he
damn.
who died?
He's 1930, so 2004 he's 74.
Oh wow, I thought he was like old. He died.
120.
120.
Yikes!
Hey.
Hey,
It's all right, Buck
you
Cherry.
never know.
So happy birthday to the living. Anthony Mackie, Bruce Springsteen,
Yikes!
Skylar
I guess we're
Aston,
just gonna disrespect the dead.
Yeah.
Robert James Collier, Jason Alexander, Kip Pardue, and also the dead, Ray Charles and Mickey Rooney.
Mickey.
And Buckcherry
Mickey and Buckcherry. May Buckcherry live on.
in our hearts.
They did that song, Crazy Bitch.
Yeah, I like that song.
That's the one I was thinking of course.
One hit wonder.
That's it for this episode's edition of Celebrity Birthdays.
Who was it? Who was it? And now a word from our sponsor.
Heel twist. Baboon to the Moon is no longer our sponsor.
No.
And in fact, fuck them.
Uh-oh.
6 ways to Sunday.
They screwed us.
So I don't know if they actually screwed us yet, but they basically like pulled the partner program right out from underneath us. Our link doesn't work anymore. Like, we sold 2 bags. I mean, it was Adam and I buying bags.
Also,
But I mean, it also is not like, I mean, they didn't do it because of that, but they just were essentially like, we're discontinuing it for now. We're going to come back with something else for people. And then I was like, okay, but we already sold 2 bags.
yeah, like why wouldn't you just stick it
So
out?
I was like, so are we going to get like credit for that? And they're like, oh yeah, it pays out every quarter. And like every time I check it, I mean, I'm not looking for the $5 we're going to get.
Right.
You know,
Why'd they get rid of
pumping
the
this shit pretty
program?
hard. To be fair, also, I back their product.
You shouldn't even mention them right now.
Yeah, right. I'm giving them out. I mean, I
You're
do
giving
like
them
the
what they
bag.
want.
I used it this weekend when I went to New York, but
And it ripped apart to shreds.
right, I threw it into the subway.
I listened to the Conan O'Brien podcast, and they always talk about how they lose sponsors, but he always talks about them. So they're like, they leave us because you're just going to mention them anyway.
Yeah, for free. Yeah. So Baboon to the Moon no longer a sponsor.
Damn. So what's this podcast sponsored by?
I don't know. Boxed wine. What is that boxed wine right
Boda
there?
Box.
Boda Box.
Delicious Bach wine.
Delicious.
Boxed wine. Which you don't even have to pay for. You just take it from the liquor store. They don't care.
Just go to any liquor store. It's for free.
Just tell them Ryan sent you.
Right. Tell them Jerry Remy's saying. All right. It's time for the draft. What's the draft?
The draft is biopics, which we checked on Google, and that is the correct pronunciation.
Right. I'm so excited for this.
I am too.
I was thinking of, doing preparation for this, I was thinking of biopics, and a few came like straight to the top. And then I started thinking, and then just like the dam broke.
There's so many.
And there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
So
I'm ready to go. I'm very excited.
I am
And we have a
ready
new
for that.
method of picking the order.
we are going to be picking
Justine has her
names.
meticulous notes.
That's insane.
I love
to
the
have all those
preparation.
notes. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I want to make sure if I don't get my first picks, I want to,
Hey.
Justine, you
I
want
think
to
it's
do
great.
the honors?
I do.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is that the first one?
No, I mean, it could be.
All right. First up is, why are these so big, Matt? Jesus.
Just
Enormous.
It's Matt.
Oh my God.
The biggest writing I've ever seen.
There's only 3 names. I wanted to make sure.
I mean, but why did you just
I wanted to fill
write
the
them
hat.
at a normal... And Justine.
Okay, and then Ryan.
I'll go last.
So right here.
Oh,
right
it's actually
there.
perfect.
Boom.
Yeah, because we're all in the
And
line.
it
On the line.
can't screw us up like it usually
Okay.
does.
I don't think Matt's going to pick this first.
Okay. Number 1 off the list. I'm gonna go with.
It's a lot of pressure.
I'm trying to protect
It
my
is.
picks because I think
know.
I can get all of these if I pick them in the right order.
I agree. But I feel like I know what you guys want and are going to pick first. So that's
You
why
might
I think
not.
I'm going to get... I know, you're throwing me for a loop here because I thought for sure.
I'm going with, because I think Ryan might take this one. I'm going with Love and Mercy.
Oh.
Story of Brian Wilson.
Okay.
John Cusack in the role of Brian Wilson. Paul Giamatti is his like fucked up manager. It's a great movie. You've seen it, right?
I have seen it, yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. I like it a lot. The who's the director? Shit, I should have wrote this down.
I love that like movies just about that era. Like that's the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood era too, right?
So,
Kinda.
a
Like
little
Beach Boys?
after
Oh,
that. Well, because it's Paul Dano plays young Brian
Yes.
Wilson, and it's about like he was the heart and soul of the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys, for those of you who don't know, were not the people that marketing told you the Beach Boys were. They didn't surf. They weren't like California like beach people. They became that after they became famous. Brian Wilson was the backbone to the music. He wrote the music. He did all the lyrics. I mean, he wrote the lyrics. He did all the the layering, the mixing, all that in the studio. It was all him. And then he had a mental breakdown, and his manager was kind of like fucking him over when he went solo. But it's essentially when Brian Wilson, like the Bare Naked Ladies have a song where they laying in bed just like Brian Wilson's name of the song, laying in bed just like Brian Wilson did, because for like a time, for years, or for at least I think it was a couple of years, he just like stayed in his house and laid in bed all day, and he was just like out of it.
Depressed.
On drugs. His manager was feeding him drugs, but it's this great depiction of him and then his future wife, who was played by Elizabeth Banks.
Very well cast.
It's very well cast.
John Cusack and Paul Dano are amazing in it.
Yeah, great music, obviously, and Paul Dano plays a great young, like, and it like kind of like his experience with his brothers in the Beach Boys and like their relationship with their dad, who is their manager, the Beach Boys manager, which is, you know, can be a fucked up thing. So yeah, Love and Mercy, number 1 off the board. I thought you might pick that one, so I wanted to get that.
It was on my list.
Justine,
My turn.
Your turn.
I'm very happy. Moneyball is my first pick.
damn.
I fucking love this movie. I watch it all the time. If it's on TV, I'm putting it on. If I'm
just saw it?
just in the mood.
Matt just saw it.
Oh, yeah.
I just watched it for the first time.
It's awesome, right?
Yep, I loved it.
Obviously, it's about the Oakland A's, their manager, Billy Beane, using statistics to try and pick a baseball team, even though they have like no budget. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Robin Wright, Chris Pratt. It's fantastic.
And how about Billy Beane just like winning the lottery and having Brad Pitt play him in a
I know, right?
Yeah.
And the other guy got Jonah Hill.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I know.
Well, the other guy wasn't even his name. Like,
No,
it
it
I
was
don't
like
even think he was
based
a
on
real,
someone else, yeah.
Because I never really watched like a Billy Beane interview or anything like that, but I can't imagine he's as charming as Brad Pitt was in that movie.
I mean, who is?
No one
Who's
is.
a charming as Brad
Yeah,
Pitt?
I mean, that's just the best. Well,
That
very,
movie's fantastic.
very good.
Very
pick.
enjoyable. Anytime you turn it on, it's at a good scene, and you just get stuck watching it.
Extremely rewatchable, too.
Very
Very-
watchable. And it's got like that chills moment that you get in a baseball movie. I remember seeing it in theater, and when Chris Pratt hit like that, like the game-winning like homer at the end of one of those games, and it was just like the whole theater was just like quiet.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was that
Great
excellent movie. That was Aaron Sorkin, right?
He wrote it.
Yeah. He didn't direct
He
it, but
wrote it with someone else wrote it, and he like could come in for rewrites. But even just making that book into a movie, have you ever looked through that book?
no,
It's just like numbers. It just doesn't.
it's like gibberish.
Yeah.
Did you
Because I
read it?
think
No.
No.
because
I was going to. That's why, because I wanted to after I saw the movie, and then I looked at it, and I was like, I'm not gonna read this because it's just about all like statistics.
So it like really dives into like the formulas they use and things like that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. And Sorkin kind of like
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff in it. I obviously didn't read the whole book. I'm sure there's stuff in it about like the people, but from what I saw, it was a lot of numbers.
well, because the guy's name's Bill James, and he like started this like statistical revolution of like it's not just about home runs and average. It's like on base percentage. Like how often does the guy walk or get hit by a pitch? Like how good is he defensively? How many runs does he save? You know, he might not get a hit every time, but so it's like this crazy. And now that's like managers make decisions based on that, which it kind of takes like the gut feeling out of the game, which like, you know, I'm on the fence on as a baseball fan. Like I'd rather, you know, you want to like play the hot hand, ride the momentum. Don't say like, you know, I plugged it into the machine and it says you should do this, but for the most part it works.
yeah. Well,
But
at
it's
least to
crazy.
pick your players, it makes sense. And
Yeah.
then once you're there, you can use your.
But I mean, Billy Beane like started that whole revolution. Should have went to the Red Sox when he had the chance.
That was
Stupid.
I was so that was the first thing I asked you after I finished it. I'm like, is there any more to like why he didn't want to go to the Sox?
But you know what though? I don't like how they make it out at the end of the movie like the Red Sox were like this, like, you know, humble, like, oh, just come to us, we'll do it. Like, you're still the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean,
and
the-
that's
like-
why I didn't want to go because they got bought by John Henry, this billionaire.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to go. Like, yes, he could have went to the Red Sox, and the Red Sox would have paid a ton of money for a ton of guys, and he just felt he could win without doing that,
right.
which he was wrong. But it's
Yeah.
okay. I got back to back.
You do.
All right, I'm glad I got this one.
Damn,
I'm going with The Wolf of Wall Street.
it's a good one. It's on my list as well.
Leo DiCaprio playing, and talk about winning the lottery as a person. Jordan Belfort, for you know all intents and purposes, pretty bad guy,
Trash human.
scumbag, still trash human, still profiting off his stuff. And then he has Scorsese, Leo, Jonah Hill sweep in and make this amazing movie about him.
Margot Robbie plays.
Margot Robbie plays
Right,
his
what?
wife. Yeah, like it, but it's one of my favorite Leo movies, just because it
Carl Reiner. This is his dad.
Carl Reiner is his dad.
So funny. Such
But
a
like
great-
Leo is at his best when he can just be charming. Like he does that better than most actors. I don't need to see him in The Revenant getting eaten by a bear. Like I don't, you know, that to me does it.
Rob Reiner?
Isn't impressive.
Rob Reiner.
It is, yes. Carl Reiner is Rob Reiner's
I'm
dad.
sitting here thinking, and I'm like, I can't be a part of a collective
Rob-
whoopsie.
See, that
I
would
had,
have been.
to,
If Adam
I
was
had to
here,
interrupt.
if Adam was here, that would have been a whoopsie. Carl Reiner
It
is
was a
Rob
Reiner.
Reiner's dad.
It was a Reiner.
Yes. But Leo is just amazing. Jonah Hill is amazing in that movie, and I know I've watched interviews with him, and he stalked Scorsese just to get an audition.
Yeah, I think he took no money.
He took the minimum for his union that can take to have that movie, and he ended up getting nominated for an Oscar, as did Leo, which that should have been Leo's first.
I think he should have won that Oscar. He
should have won before that too, but
just the amount of dialogue for that movie and having to play such a despicable person and be you're still kind of rooting for him the whole time.
Right, which you have no business rooting for Jordan Belfort, the human, at all. But the way Leo plays him, you don't feel bad for him, but you just almost like you're rooting for him because I just want to keep watching this guy.
I prefer him in movies like that instead of the intense dramas. I think he's more fun.
He is. He's good, and that's not an easy role. There's very few actors that can do that. Brad Pitt's one of them. Leo's another one. So Wolf of Wall Street is my first round pick. Second round pick, I'm gonna go a little outside the box, and I didn't find this movie. I thought of this movie on my own.
Don't you
my
dare.
big brain.
Don't you dare.
And I didn't find this on many lists, but I'm gonna go with Aaron Brockovich.
Okay.
Oh, that's on my list.
I love Julia Roberts.
You didn't find this on many lists. I feel like this is
No, it wasn't. It was on if you found a list of the 100 best biopics. But the list that had the top 20, top 25, for some reason it wasn't on. And
this is a fantastic movie.
Oh, it's amazing. Great movie. Anytime, and it's one of those TNT, TBS movies too. That's, I feel like anytime you put it on a weekend day, it's on.
You know who loves this movie?
Who?
Jeff Mel.
Jeff Mel. It's a great movie.
If it's on TV, Jeff's putting it on.
Yeah.
It's on TV a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, similar to Moneyball, you can catch it at any point and you kind of swept into the plot. You're ready to go. I think it's an amazing movie, and she's fantastic in it.
Yeah. She won an Oscar. So this is on my list as well as an option. And I have a note here because when I was looking it up, Danny DeVito was one of the producers on this movie.
Was he really?
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Sweet Danny DeVito.
Good for him.
What a wonderful man. So yeah, I'm going to go with...
He was the Penguin in Christian Bale's Batman.
He was.
Yep, that's it.
And Alfred.
Nailed it.
It was a dual role.
All right.
Justine, back to you, round
I'm
two.
glad you didn't pick this one. My second pick is Catch Me If You Can.
Excellent, yeah.
I had Wolf of Wall Street on here too, but I was I'm only taking one Leo movie, and this is my favorite Leo movie, is Catch Me If You Can. I love this movie. Leo, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken snuck his way in there somehow.
Psycho.
That soft shoe tap dancing. Psychopath.
Why is he dressed like that?
Based on, obviously, Frank Abagnale, who's a teenage con man. He was conned his way into being a pilot, a lawyer, a doctor. Pretty crazy story.
It's wild.
Pretty
it's a
insane
wild
true story.
I can't believe it's a true story.
It's nuts. And they actually made a Broadway play about it. Did you ever see this?
No.
So I saw it. It wasn't very good, but I saw it when it came here.
By the same name?
Yeah.
Oh.
The original cast is one of my favorites. It's with Aaron Tveit and Norbert Leo Butz, whatever his name is. Yeah, that's his name. They're great, so they probably elevated it, but just
Was
seeing
it good?
it was okay. I mean, I wouldn't have seen it again. If I had seen it with them, maybe I would have seen it.
Oh,
again,
you didn't?
but
You saw it just with
I saw
whoever
it,
was
yeah,
in
when it came to PPAC, but it was all right. And then when I was looking up this movie, I saw something. Do you know the house after his mom remarried that he goes to at the end? It was the same house used in Father of the Bride and Father of the Bride 2.
Oh.
Interesting little trivia tidbits.
Love that.
It's a beautiful house.
Oh, yeah, Amy Adams was in this movie too. Martin Sheen.
Yep.
Crazy cast.
Yes. Very crazy cast. And another one where he's playing this.
It's a fun,
sketchy character,
yeah.
but it's upbeat. It's fun, and he makes that character.
Not many movies out there where Tom Hanks is in a supporting role.
No.
That's a pretty rare.
But he took a definite backseat to Leo in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he didn't seem to care. He was
yeah,
whatever.
That's the scene.
They were great together.
The scene where
I'd love to see
Tom
more of
Hanks
that.
first encounters Leo.
When they
in the
meet,
hotel
that's my
room
favorite. I love it.
is so good. And then that realization when he's sitting on the bed, he's relieved, and then all of a sudden,
When
it
he
starts
opens
going,
that?
yeah, he starts going the opposite
God.
direction. He opens the wallet. Imagine though, this is, I don't know how true or not true it is, but imagine being that con man and handing him the wallet and being
Being that
confident that
confident.
he's not going to open it
Yeah.
right then and there. Crazy.
Nuts. Awesome
Fantastic.
movie.
Yeah, great movie. All right.
Great pick.
I got all my picks. Well, some of my picks. The Catch Me If You Can was one of them. I was going to go. All right. Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, it's on my list too.
It's a recent one.
You deserve to pick this one, though.
I love this movie so much. I think besides another biopic that I have on my list, this is the best sounding movie. I the cars and the racing and just everything. I listen to it with my sound bar on, and I have the 4K Blu-ray disc. I don't have many 4K Blu-ray discs, but I have this one, and I watch it all the time. It's a great story. Carroll Shelby, Ken Miles. Shelby, of course, a famous race car driver, and then turned car maker. And then Ken Miles was a race car driver that no one really wanted to anything to do with. Ford Motor Company comes along, goes to Carroll Shelby because he's a legendary car racer and now maker, and he wants him to make a car to beat Ferrari at Le Mans, which doesn't happen because Ferrari dominates Le Mans, and then this car, the GT40, which is a legendary Ford race car, goes on to win 66, 67, 68, and 69 consecutively. Ken Miles, of course, coming in second that first year, but he did it because like he wanted to be like, have you seen?
Yeah,
Ford
it made
Ferrari?
me so mad, that part.
So angry.
mad.
Yeah, and Ford just fucked him over.
Oh my God.
So what was his name?
Great movie.
Josh Lucas.
Yeah,
is that his
plays
name?
the bad guy.
Yeah, and
he doesn't play Lee Iacocca.
No, that's John Bernthal. Yeah, I thought that was a great role, and it's like it's a really good movie too because like they have Lee, and you could do a whole movie about Lee Iacocca and like he was marketing with Ford and like he introduced the Mustang and like you could do a movie with just him. But I love seeing and hearing all these names, like these big names, like from like the early like muscle car days of like American Muscle, and like having them be like and although if you put Carroll Shelby and Matt Damon next to each other, they don't look anything alike. And Carroll Shelby is probably a foot taller than him, or was he? Died.
But it's Matt Damon. You're not gonna be mad about Matt Damon.
Right,
Matt Damon was great in that role.
He was so good in it, and he acted like I've seen. Me and my dad have watched a million documentaries about Carroll Shelby, and he acts just like him. He does a really good job. And Ken Miles is not too much on him, but his son says that Christian Bale did like a tremendous job.
Of course he did.
Christian Bale's nuts.
And he's one of those people
fantastic.
who will like sit with the family for a month.
Yeah,
He did.
Yeah. Yeah.
He sat with his son. Yeah.
They were great together too. That's another pair that.
Yeah.
They were very good. I agree.
And I just love that movie. It's such a sad, like there's such a tragic ending to it, obviously for Ken Miles, but it's just such a great story about Ford versus Ferrari. It's like you don't get that stuff anymore.
No.
And this was at a time where race cars were still being built, and like you had to figure out how to best your opponent. And now it's like every car is exactly the same because they have to be, and you can't change them at all. But they did the whole interchanging brake system where to quickly change the brakes, and no one else was doing that. Like that,
I feel like there's more
innovation was
standards
still,
now too.
Right. Oh, totally. And innovation was still like at the forefront. People were still trying to think of clever ways to be faster than their opponents. So going with Ford versus Ferrari. Love that movie. And then I'm coming back around, and I'm going with one of my favorite movies of all time. It's Lords of Dogtown.
Ooh.
I love this movie so much, and it has a hell of a cast. Amelia Hirsch plays... Shit, what is his name? His actual So it's the same thing with him in that movie. It's not the actual skateboarder's name, but it's Tony Alva. Hold on, let me look it up. Johnny Knoxville's in this movie. Have you seen Lords of Dogtown? So it's about the Z Boys, which is the first like big skateboard team, led up by Heath Ledger, who plays their like manager. Not a true not his real name, but he starts this skateboarding crew with a bunch of surfers from California, and it starts this whole revolution of like how they ride skateboards, and they come out with these like the wheels. So essentially, so Heath Ledger plays Skip, who is like their coach, and like gets them all started. Emile Hirsch is Jay, who is a famous skateboarder, and then Stacy Peralta, who came out with like his own brand, is still making skateboards, and then. It was just like their story. It's like a good story about like Tony Alva, Stacy Peralta, and Jay, who I forget his last name, but it's not the actual skateboarder's name. They changed the name for whatever reason. But it's like the three of them, and then and about their story of like how they came up in like the skateboarding ranks, and how they kind of like Johnny Knoxville was like a crooked manager and things like that. But it's just like a cool story about the birth of this new sport and how it turned into like what it turned into, like with Tony Hawk and the X Games, and now
so this was like pre-BMX, like
this, and this was just like they had ramps, but they really started like they would just skate empty parking lots, and they would have competition. Like it was the start of like skateboarding competitions, and they would have like skateboarding companies snatching up all these kids that were like surfer kids in California and making them like skate in the parks, and then they all discovered like they would skate. These three kids were famous for revolutionizing like skating empty pools. There was during that time there was a huge drought happening in California, and people would keep their pools empty, and they would sneak into people's yards and skate the empty pools, and then they would move on to when the neighbors would kick them out, they'd move on to the next neighbor's house and they'd skate the empty pools. It's a good story. It's a great movie.
This is like an indie movie. I never seen it.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It wasn't. No, it was in theaters. I don't think it did crazy good, but Heath Ledger's great in it.
Love Heath Ledger.
Shocking.
He was so good in it. And all the Victor Rasuk is the guy who plays Tony Alva. He's in Let me see what else he's in. I'll see if I can. He was in Godzilla. He was
Your favorite.
Sergeant.
I loved you in Godzilla. What?
He was Jose in 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know if you know him from that.
Haven't seen it.
Damn, but he's in
I
something
missed that
else
one.
that I think you guys might know. He's in Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I don't know if you watched
Oh,
that.
I do. Do watch that.
He's Disco.
Okay, well, I don't know that. What's his name?
I mean, I watched it, but I didn't.
Yeah, look it up because you know him.
Victor
Rasuk.
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 Oh yeah, he looks familiar.
He's in something that I like. I mean, I know obviously from this movie, but John Robinson is Stacey Peralta, and obviously you just said Johnny Knoxville's in it. Yeah, and Emil Hirsch.
Love Emil Hirsch, even though
So it's good. And Heath Ledger.
Even though
kinda,
what are you going to say about him?
Heath Ledger
Seems like a
plays
loose
like this
cannon.
crazy, like strung out, like he owns a surf shop, but then he starts selling skateboards, and he's like basically like using the kids to make money for the shop. And he goes through his whole thing, and then it's a
Oh, he was
very
in
good.
all of the 50 Shades of Grey movies.
Yeah, so I
Must be a main character.
I guess he's gray. He's the color gray. All right, that's Lords of Dogtown.
Okay.
My third pick.
all right, Justine, third round pick.
All right, none of you have this on your list, and if you do, I'll be shocked. I'm going with, this is my third pick,
Yep,
The Sound of Music.
I don't have it on my
Don't
list,
have it on
but
my
I'm not
list.
surprised.
No. Based on, obviously, the Von Trapp family, who, you know, an aspiring nun, goes to nanny for them, ends up falling in love, 7 kids, marries the dad. They have to escape the Nazis. Great movie.
That age-old story.
The age-old story.
Fall
A
in
Tale
Love,
as Old as Time.
Escape the Nazis.
Christopher Plummer, Julie Andrews. Great movie. I watch it whenever I'm sick.
How many
Without
times
fail.
would you say you've seen The Sound of Music?
Oh my God. A million.
Yeah,
it's
I think a
literally-
million's probably inaccurate.
Obviously it's not, but
I know.
whenever I'm sick, it's just, Julie Andrews just makes you feel better. Even though it gets heavy in the end because, you know, Nazis.
Nazis, yeah.
Not fun. But like the first half of the movie is just pure joy.
Delightful.
It's a delight.
And I feel like one of the more iconic scenes is when, I don't know if I've seen it. I have to imagine I've seen it.
I'm
But,
thinking
like,
that
I'm
all
just-
your knowledge of it comes from Family Guy because
When they're in the
Seth
field.
MacFarlane is obsessed with
Like when
the Sound of
they're
Music.
in the field and it's just like all the flowers are like
The hills are
oh.
alive.
Yeah.
So the very first scene in the entire movie.
Is that what it is? I don't
Yeah.
know. But I
She
feel like
sings-
even
she sings
see, like I
music.
can't
Yeah.
imagine I don't know if I've ever seen it in full, but
Oh my God, it's so great. It just makes you feel better. It's just
What's your favorite song?
my favorite things.
Okay.
Why?
I listen to on my running playlist is
Edelweiss?
Confidence. No. No. I stop and I just lay down in the street.
And
no.
cry?
okay.
No, I have
That's
Confidence.
really funny, actually, for a running
It is
playlist.
such a good, because I mean that whole scene is.
She's running,
right.
but like it's just really funny that that's on your running playlist.
I think of Julie Andrews like
Skipping around.
yeah, moving
Salzburg.
around, and it just like gets me going.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of songs on that playlist that are from movies that are like fast things happening in the movie. So
Is there a lot of Mamma Mia on that playlist?
there's
God,
so
I
much
bet there's
Mamma
so
Mia.
much
There's so much Mamma Mia. Well, I mean ABBA. Like I said, there's some ABBA songs that are better than the movie, obviously, and then but there are some songs from the movie that are better than the ABBA originals. I'm just
I
gonna say it.
agree. I'm with you.
All right.
All right.
Very good.
That's my pick.
My third round pick. So I don't know. I'm not sure if either of you have seen this movie, but one of my favorite movies I watched a couple years ago. It's a Netflix original. Dolomite Is My Name,
Yeah.
Oh,
starring
yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
So this is a biopic on a comedian. His name was Rudy Ray Moore, and he was a stand-up comedian, and it just wasn't happening for him, like in his real life. So he developed this like insane, outrageous character called Dolomite, and he started making these crazy like kung fu, like really like X-rated kung fu movies. And Dolomite was the character.
X-rated?
Yeah. Well, there was like a lot of sex in it, and a lot of like swearing, all this stuff. And then he would do like kung fu, but like not good kung fu. And it was like super over the top, like kapow, and you know, like the Batman kapow would show up. But Eddie Murphy plays him in Dolomite Is My Name, and the guy is just like such an outrageous character. And Eddie Murphy plays that really well, but also like finds a way to ground him. So like when he's like pitching a movie to someone and he's in business mode or he's starring in a movie, he has this really over the top personality, but in his personal life, he's, you know, a little more reserved when he's with friends and family. Eddie Murphy just plays that combo really, really well. And this was kind of Eddie Murphy's, like, he was coming back around. Like he was out of the spotlight for a while. I feel, and he really nailed this role. The movie's hysterical, but it's also very good. It's Eddie Murphy, Keegan-Michael Key, Mike Epps, Craig Robinson, Titus Burgess, and the guy who steals the show, he's not in a lot of scenes, is Wesley Snipes. And Wesley Snipes plays this like super funny, he plays another actor. I forgot, I don't know if it's a real person or like they made the character up, but he plays kind of like a more famous actor that Rudy Ray Moore, like Dolomite, has to get to be in his movies, or else like the studios won't fund it. And it's like, oh, if you can get Wesley Snipes' character, like they'll fund it because audiences will go see him. And he's just this like psycho, crazy like actor who, you know, lives in his own world type thing. It's very, very funny. I would highly recommend it.
I didn't know that was based on a real person.
Yeah.
I remember like when it came out, but
Yeah, it's really, really good.
I remember you were talking highly of it when you first watched it.
Yes, I loved it. So Dolomite is my name. And then my pick for the first pick of round 4, I'm going to go with The Social Network.
So good. Another Sorkin.
Another Sorkin, which
Great
this is like
movie.
Sorkin.
It's on my list.
At least for movies, this is probably Sorkin's like one of his masterpieces.
Yeah.
Obviously, the story of Mark Zuckerberg and how he started and created Facebook. Just like kind of another one of those things where like you think the topic would be too like, you know, number centric and like statistical, where who would want to watch a movie about it? It's kind of like Moneyball, but yet they just build this incredible drama out of it.
David Fincher.
David Fincher directing it.
I was just saying, I would argue it's, if not his best, definitely top 2. I don't know.
Fincher?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I watched it for the first time in a while recently, and I mean, obviously it holds up, but it's just so good. And Jesse Eisenberg is such a particular actor, and I don't know how he keeps finding these roles where his shtick like fits, but it does, and especially in that Zuckerberg role. And you can kind of tell like Zuckerberg always has that look on his face, like does not compute, like
robot, yeah.
Can't speak to humans. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's crazy, but I love that movie. It's a great biopic on, you know, one of really the biggest inventions of our lifetime. Mm-hmm. And to kind of put it into a narrative form is very impressive.
The way they go back and forth between like the court proceedings and like the arbitration, whatever it is really interesting.
And to keep it like I feel like I'm on the edge of my seat the whole movie, where it could easily just get slogged down and like, oh, this is kind of boring. But
Ann Perkins is in that.
Ann Perkins.
Andrew Garfield.
Ann Perkins. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Unfortunately, Armie Hammer.
Oh yeah, that's right. So where do we leave off on Armie Hammer? Where we don't
feel like
is he a cannibal? Like I don't know what know what's happening with him.
I feel like that's a rumor that just like ran wild. I don't know if it's actually true. I know there's something bad about Armie Hammer happening, but I don't know what it is.
I thought they had like.
Well, I mean, is he in jail? He's eating people.
I don't think he's actually eating people. I think they have like.
Been
I mean, I
accused
hope
of
he's
eating.
not. I guess I don't know. He's also super rich. He could have
fetishizing it?
Could have eaten someone for all we know. But I think they have like chat room stuff or like online dating stuff of him like.
But it is kind of weird. Like you
eating
can't
people.
just accuse someone of being a cannibal.
Do you know?
And then
You've got to have your proof.
Yeah.
Like
I need pictures. I don't want to see it, but
before Social Network, I didn't know who Armie Hammer was.
no, and he was actually really really great in Social Network, which
And I thought
another
that he was
one
a twin.
another one ruined.
Yeah, it's too bad.
he was good in Call Me by Your Name too.
He was good in that. It's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I thought he was a twin because I had never seen him in anything before, so I thought he was.
Maybe he ate his twin.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Both the same name.
Yes.
Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammers. All right, that's my pick for round 4. Justine.
Okay,
Back to
I
you.
have 2 very heavy subject matters here.
Oh
I'm
boy.
trying to decide which
Bring it.
one to pick.
Okay, so I think I can get both of mine.
You don't have a
They're not,
you don't have an
You don't have
extremely
anything.
sad movie?
they're not super.
No, it's
heavy.
not. I wouldn't say it's sad.
Oh, it's just
Very dark.
okay.
All right, I'm gonna go with me. I'm gonna do Zodiac.
Ooh.
For my next
I
pick.
mean, that's another Fincher. Great movie.
Love
Yes.
Fincher.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously the story about the Zodiac Killer. It was based on the book by Robert Graysmith, who is a cartoonist at the Chronicle, I think, the San Francisco Chronicle,
Believe
who
so.
like kind of
Oh, let me look at it. Yeah.
became obsessed with the case.
This is how
and,
we
like,
get whoopsies. We just
Yeah.
agree.
No, that sounds right.
He became obsessed with the case. He wrote a book about it. He kind of like dedicated like his life to kind of try and track him down. Crazy cast: Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Anthony Edwards, your guy.
Love Anthony Edwards. Goose.
Dermot Mulroney's in this.
Is he?
That's right.
I like him
Yep.
too. Because he was never caught, right? Still?
No.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
hopefully
disturbing.
he's just very old now. But
And this movie is very upsetting. Like, it's very, I love it, which is obviously messed up, but There's one scene in it that's like it's very hard to watch. Like this
San
word.
Francisco Chronicle.
Have you guys seen it?
Yeah,
I haven't
car
seen it in
scene?
a while.
Well,
No, the one when you know when they were like in broad daylight, that couple having a picnic at the beach.
yes.
That is horrifying
Yes,
to watch. Like it
yeah.
makes me so uncomfortable every time I see it.
But from what I remember, don't they? They don't figure out who it is in the Zodiac the movie.
No, they have like there's like a, you know, like theories over who it is. Like,
Right,
there's
so that's
a
just
ton
how
of
they-
them, and they kind of like he picks essentially who he thinks it is in the movie.
Right.
But no, never caught. But very interesting and very disturbing, obviously.
Yes. Very good pick.
Very good. I get both of mine. Love it.
Hey, end of 4, beginning of 5.
Another very good movie that I watch often. Like it's such an easy watch, and it falls into the same category as Social Network. Like those two, I watch them a lot. It's Steve Jobs,
Oh,
the Michael Fassbender one,
of course.
not the Ashton Kutcher, whatever that one's called.
I think it's just Jobs.
It's yeah. So Fassbender, Kate Winslet, Seth Rogen, Jeff Daniels, directed by Danny Boyle. It's just
Is that the one Sorkin wrote?
yes. Yeah, I know
A
this.
lot of Sorkin. I've never seen it.
He's very good at writing like
It's-
true stories and making it.
And making it interesting.
Yeah.
It's well worth your time. It is. So it's very narrow. It follows the you know how Apple does their like grand like launches of all their products. It follows Steve Jobs on the day of each one of those like launches for like the first app, the Apple II computer, and then when he left Apple and did his own thing, and then he came back eventually, and it just follows him on those days like getting ready. So he has interactions with. I mean, it's obviously like it's about Steve Jobs and it's largely true, but he has interactions with like his daughter's mother, like before the events, and he has, you know, he talks with the guy who Seth Rogen plays, Steve Wozniak. He has talks with him and Jeff Daniels, who was the head of Pepsi at the time, but he was also involved with Apple, and he was on the board or whatever. But it's just really cool how they like kind of like focus it, because you could go like a million different directions with Steve Jobs, but they just focus it on the days of like when they were releasing these like big iconic products, and so it's just really well done. This is another one where if you put Fassbender and Steve Jobs next to each other, I don't buy that Fassbender is Steve Jobs, but it's just you don't really need it. Like you suspend belief because
How good
Fassbender is so good in the role.
You know what? That came out at the same time as the other one, so I think I just kind of
It definitely got lost. It totally got lost. But I
Kinda
watched it
sucks,
all.
too,
like
'cause-
ignored them both.
Not that I hate Ashton Kutcher, but I'm not interested in seeing him.
No,
play
I want to see him be funny. Like I
Right.
want to.
Yeah.
Like no offense, Ash.
Go be a stoner.
He
Go not take a shower.
just his character
Apparently.
from that 70s show.
And do where's my car?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of he made a brand. He knows what he
knows
did.
what he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Steve Jobs movie is it's awesome.
Great pick. All right.
My last pick is Apollo 13
Ooh, nice.
for
Wow.
for all the obvious reasons.
About time we got Kevin Bacon on
Kevin
this list.
Bacon, Bill
Ooh,
Paxton,
Holly's
and
favorite.
Tom Hanks is back again.
Holly does not like Kevin Bacon.
My biggest issue with Holly. That's the biggest point of contention in our friendship is that she doesn't like Kevin Bacon.
One of those movies where it's like you know the outcome, but you're watching it and you still are like tense for everything that's happening.
It's a Ron Howard film, right?
Yes, they obviously like they get screwed out of their moon landing because of an error. Just one of those great NASA movies. I had another NASA movie that I was going to select, but I skipped it for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping that if one of you picked the other one, I was going to pick this one.
I have another one on my list too, but I don't think I'm going to pick it.
I think I know what other one you're thinking of.
Yeah, Apollo 13, great movie, classic, an all-time
Great movie.
classic. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. One of the greats.
Hey, well, maybe we'll check in on with Dave D. Maybe Bill Paxton's still alive.
I don't think he's high on Dave D's list of who's still alive.
That's true.
No. I bet Dave doesn't even know who Bill Paxton is.
That's also fair.
All right.
All right, Justine, final pick.
So I have another one
For you.
here, but we've already done a lot of Sorkin, so I'm not going to do that. I'll honor
So many good Sorkins.
So many good Sorkin. All right. I'm going to go with Rush. Have you guys ever seen Rush?
Ooh, I have.
That was the other one that I had on my
That-
list.
yeah,
that I
I-
was like for sound mixing. It's so
This
good.
and Ford versus Ferrari were in the same category for me, and you picked Ford versus Ferrari. Rush is really, really good.
it's on
Daniel
Netflix.
Bruhl, Chris Hemsworth. Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Another Ron Howard.
Yeah, Ron Howard. It's about like the rivalry between James Hunt and Niki Lauda during the Formula One racing. Niki Lauda gets into like a horrifying car accident, like gets kind of burned up, and the two kind of end up liking each other. I think they actually in real life, like I think the movie kind of, from what I read, it really dramatized the rivalry, but they ended up being like very, very close in real life. But it's a great movie. It's like edge of your seat stuff.
It is very good. You can kind of see how like competition can. I love those type of movies where like the competition, like you have these people, two people going for like a singular goal. Obviously, it's gonna bring you close together. You're both motivated by the same thing.
And they're both great in it. Like
Yes.
great acting.
That's
performances.
early Chris Hemsworth too, right?
Yeah, very early. I think it was like just the beginning of the whole Marvel. I think I'd only seen him in Thor.
Yeah, I think
before
he was
that.
just.
He was in
it
Thor first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I always
guess.
get confused at the timeline of those movies
Because
there's
I
so
knew who
many.
he was when I saw the movie, so
Okay.
I would have had to know him from Thor. I don't know what else I would have known Chris Hemsworth.
That came out in 2011.
I think it was
Thor
Rush?
came out in
13?
20.
Rush was 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there was a Thor that came out pre 2010, and then I think one right around there.
Oh, okay, so he was already
Yeah.
Thor.
Yeah.
That's a huge.
He's a really good actor. I feel like you only really know him from Marvel stuff now, but like he's a great actor. He should be in more things.
He was great. The Netflix movie where he played not like a Navy SEAL, but like that type of person.
Extraction?
Yes,
It's been on my list since it came out, and I haven't.
I thought it was
sequel
great.
coming to that.
Yeah.
They're making it for Netflix.
He's also really good in Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yes, he was.
For that was a good movie.
Very good movie.
But yeah, so Rush, love it.
Rush. Ryan,
All right,
take us home.
taking us home with one of the most popular figures in the history of sports, history of pop culture, played to a T perfectly by one of my favorite actors, Will Smith. I'm going to go with Ali, 2000 movie directed by Michael Mann, starring Will Smith, Jimmy Fox, John Voight. It's an expansive movie about Ali instead of kind of focusing on, which I think it would probably be easier to do a movie or a show maybe on him when you're focusing on one moment, since he's had so many huge moments in his life. But they decided to go the other route, and Will Smith just knocks it out of the park every single scene. It's my favorite Will Smith movie, besides Wild Wild West. No, I'm
Obviously.
just kidding. But
Not
it's
Aladdin?
not Aladdin. I'd like Aladdin. I don't like Aladdin. I don't like the actor who played Aladdin. What they should have done is had
Why?
the animated Aladdin.
Don't understand.
I don't get it.
CGI
This guy is
into,
totally new. You've never seen him in anything.
and he shouldn't be in anything ever again.
Oh my God.
He should go back to selling shoes or wherever he does. He stinks. But
Shoe salesman.
Ali, one of my favorite sports movies, one of my favorite biopics. I think Will Smith is great in it.
Honorable mentions.
I cannot believe neither of you guys picked Goodfellas. I'm shocked.
So that was one of my honorable mentions.
I thought for sure. I had it on my list, and I'm like, but I want to get a chance to pick
The
this.
problem
I'm
with
gonna take
Goodfellas that I always think is like there's a lot.
It doesn't fit
There's
into
a lot
biopic for
left to Martin Scorsese's pen.
there's a lot of. It's probably not very accurate.
if
I
there
mean,
was-
it's based on the book, but
Right, and I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also based on Henry Hill telling you this is what happened in my life.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. I think that they surrounded him with a lot of names that were probably not pulled straight from history and whatever. It's one of my favorite movies, but I don't know.
I see it as a lot of different things, not necessarily a biopic.
Yeah.
I had Spotlight was the other one I had that was like really heavy.
Yeah.
I was like, what
It's a really good
That's a great movie.
a great movie. It's a great newspaper movie. I mean, obviously the subject matter is horrifying, but
It's still a very good movie.
I have what else did I have here? Oh, Hidden Figures was the NASA one that I had. That's a really, really good movie.
Excellent movie.
I actually watched that. The first time I saw it was at your house. Me and Holly had watched it. It was who used to get it was like they were like movie theaters, like movies, but you can get them on DVD or something. It was like a
Redbox?
weird bootleg. No, not Redbox.
Oh.
It was like a bootleg. You had someone who had like a bootleg thing. and we
Oh,
had that
I have a website.
version. That's what it was. And the Aaron Sorkin one I had was Molly's Game. You guys ever seen Molly's
I
Game?
have with
No,
Jessica
I haven't
Chastain. I like
It's a
that
really good movie. And Idris Elba, my favorite.
Idris Elba.
Love that guy.
Sweet boy.
Did you have any other ones?
The Fighter.
I was say you must have a ton on there.
Yeah, I have a ton.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
The Fighter I have mostly just because of Jeff. Jeff loves The Fighter. I don't know if he loves The Fighter or if he likes quoting The Fighter.
I was just saying-
I'm not sure which it is, but this movie.
Well, Jeff loves that accent.
Oh my God, does he ever? And it's on in my house like a lot.
Jeff shadowboxing.
Are you worried?
Like more if it's on TV, it's on. And I walk in and I'm like, oh my God, this movie again. So it's almost like I can't enjoy it because he's ruined it and he quotes it like weekly.
I'm going to my sister's.
That's another insane Christian Bale.
Yeah,
Yes.
nuts, crazy performance.
Dickie Ward. Yeah.
Dickie.
And it's funny because they show Dickie like at the end, and
They're, like,
Christian
exact.
Bale. It's exactly
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's scary.
He's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
I also have Funny Girl on here.
What's that?
Barbara Streisand. It was like Barbara Streisand's big first role. Like
Okay.
she won an Oscar for it. It's from what Matt's favorite song, "To Rain in My Parade," is from.
Is that on your running list?
They always call Rachel Berry on Glee. They call her funny girl. Well, they always they make comments to her about that, and then she sings "Rain on My Parade" at the first.
But I saw it when I was really young. I don't think I really enjoyed it that much. I just like "Don't Rain in My Parade," so I was like, I'm not gonna put it on my list. All the President's Men. Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Redford.
Black Klansman. I have
Yes.
on here.
That's
That
a
was
good
a
one.
fantastic movie. That movie made me almost too anxious. Like more anxious than Zodiac makes me.
Yes.
Like,
Like
the
that
whole
scene when
time,
they're
I was
like
like-
staking out the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
and the
time.
way it's filmed.
I was having an anxiety attack watching that movie.
Spike Lee, baby.
John David Washington, very good.
Very good.
Yep.
Adam Driver was really good in that too.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he's good in everything.
I love Adam Driver.
I have Bonnie and Clyde. I, Tanya, which was great.
Oh, that was
That's on my
That
list
was
too.
on my that was close one. You know, I saw when I was looking up stuff for that when they were doing because obviously Tanya Harding could do a triple axel and like no one could. They couldn't even find a stunt double to do it
That's
because
crazy.
no one can do it. And the director was like, "Well, if someone can do it, they're going to the Olympics, so I'm not going to risk their chances with being like
Hey, you off
a
the
stunt
street.
person." Yeah, so they had to
Yeah.
like digitally do it. And then I have like Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody like that.
Yeah.
Those two, but
So ones we haven't picked: 8 Mile, I really like. Walk the Line,
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Joaquin Phoenix,
I haven't
and
seen
Reese
it in
Witherspoon.
forever.
Awesome movie, like unflinching kind of, because Johnny Cash, like I feel like in pop culture, Johnny Cash is this like noble, great guy when in reality he's not the best husband, not the best dad. But they don't shy away from that, and Joaquin Phoenix is great. Donnie Brasco with Pacino and Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Pacino is in a lot of these biopics. Because you have Donnie Brasco, you have Serpico, another really good one. Into the Wild with Emile Hirsch, which I really, really like. Got, more of an indie movie, and it's not the most exciting movie. And I think it's because they stick to what really happened to that guy, which is, it's very sad and not as exciting. But that was a really good movie. Milk with Sean Penn playing Harvey Milk. I really liked Raging Bull with De Niro and Joe Pesci. The Irishman, which I really enjoyed as well, also with De Niro and Joe Pesci and Pacino. And yeah, that's it.
Cool. I had ones we didn't pick. Hidden Figures, Justine said. First Man was the other NASA one that I had as well. So I guess I had 3 NASA movies. Behind the Candelabra, The Current War, which I don't know if either of you saw.
no.
Benedict Cumberbatch is Thomas Edison. Michael Shannon is George Westinghouse, and
That was recent,
kid who's
right?
2017, I think. And the kid who plays Beast from the new X-Men movies. He was also dating
Nicholas
Jennifer
Hoult?
Lawrence. Yes. He was Nikola Tesla. And it's basically about like the birth of electricity and like
And how Tesla got screwed over.
yeah, and it's about the Chicago World's Fair and how Edison was the one who ended up bringing he was fighting with Westinghouse. Well, essentially, it was Westinghouse and Edison fighting each other, and then Tesla just being like, "You guys are both stealing. You both are stealing from me." And so they brought who was going to bring electricity for the first time to a place and be like everything's lit up by electricity, and people are like, "This is fucking crazy." So that's a cool movie. It was. I will admit it's boring as fuck, but it's just a really cool time for something.
Well, just to think about that.
Tell that
Yeah.
story, just very cool. The Darkest Hour and Straight Outta Compton was the
Darkest Hour, that's a good one.
Gary
I never
Oldman
saw it.
is
So good as Churchill.
Churchill, yeah, very good. That was part of that Oscar run that year. That was with that Call Me by Your Name and a few others. I saw all of them. That was one of the only years I saw all of them. So yeah, very good draft. Very good.
Very good draft.
Very good. Maybe we'll hear from Adam. See his.
Maybe.
Not. Maybe we'll just
Probably too cold.
Yes, right. He's frozen to a mountain somewhere.
Please help me.
All right, let's do what we're watching. I'll go through mine quick. I don't have a big list. So I went to New York last week and I saw Waitress.
How was it?
It was so good. It was incredible.
You saw it before, right?
Yeah, I saw it in Providence.
We didn't see it with Sarah Bareilles.
No. So I instantly, when I saw this, so Sarah Bareilles did all the music. She wrote all the music for it. And so I think at one time did she play Jenna?
Yeah.
At one time, not the original cast, but she did.
I think Jessie Mueller was the original.
Okay.
You know, the one from like the Carole King musical.
Yes.
I think she was the original, but then I think Sarah Bareilles did play her.
Okay. So Sarah Bareilles came back in.
I remember at one point Al Roker was in it.
What?
I think he was like the old man,
Really?
and I had seen.
Did he have a song?
And Jess loves Al Roker. Yeah, he had a song. And I had seen on Instagram, it was like Al Roker
Take it from
standing
an
in front
old
of
man.
that one. It was Al Roker standing in front of like the Waitress sign. And I looked at it quick, and then I looked at the bottom. You know, it shows the comments of people you know first. And it was just Jess's comment. Just said, "Break a leg, Al." And I was like, Jess.
Why does she love Al Roker?
She loves Al. I don't know. Big
God.
fan. Big Al Roker fan.
So it was at the Barrymore, the Ethel
Barrymore.
Ethel Barrymore, that was it. Theater, very small, very intimate. I liked it. It was.
I love a small theater.
Like you step off of the street and you're in your seat. Essentially, it was really really cool. And yeah, so it was just really good. Sarah Bareilles was. I mean, she killed it.
I'm not
obviously.
a huge fan of Waitress.
I like that. I like it a lot.
I saw it when it came here. I just feel like none of the characters are very likable. I feel
Yeah,
like
well,
they're all like kind of bad people.
Well, so except for oh god, Dawn.
Is that one of the waitresses?
Yeah, the not the waitress that hooks up with the cook.
Yeah, the other one, like
The other one.
the innocent one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
and then her, and then the guy that she ends
Ogie.
up with. Yeah,
Which is
those two. They're the redeemable parts. of
yeah,
that
and they have a couple really good.
I have a hard
songs.
time when I'm like not in support of the main character.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's tough to root for. So essentially, it's like the high points of the play is that Jenna and her husband, who's a dick, Earl, they're pregnant, but she doesn't want. She wants the baby, but she doesn't want it with him. She wants to leave him, and she has an affair with her doctor, and
who's
she's
also married.
Who's also married, and so yeah, a lot of infidelity.
Yeah, I don't know who I would be rooting for.
Yeah,
in
I'm
that
like, I'm not a
scenario.
big fan of infidelity.
So and it's like it's about her.
But they like want you to root for her.
Yeah, she's a
you're like,
baker, and she.
Do they make the husband super unlikable?
Oh, the husband's
He's-
very unlikable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like very unlikable.
And so in one of the, I don't know if it was the original cast, but a recent cast, Nick Cordero, is that his name? Nick Cordero played him, and he was the one he was friends with Zach Braff. He just died recently of COVID, like last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in a bunch of them, but he was a Broadway
That name
guy.
sounds really familiar. Oh, I actually do remember when he. Yeah, I remember like all the tributes.
And I don't know if he was the original Earl or whatever, but he was one. He obviously played him, and they changed on the board of the pies. They changed the first one to "Live Your Life Pie," which is because they have all like clever names for the pies. Jenna makes up clever names for the pies, and they have one after one of his music albums, and they named it. And Zach Braff was opening night with Sarah Bareilles. He like went on stage and like talked about Nick. He was like really good friends with him. But it was just I like the show. I like the music. Let's say Jenna. Lindy is not a fan of the music either. Like she likes it, but she wasn't like. But she was excited to go see Sarah Bareilles. It was like a private concert with Sarah Bareilles. It was awesome. Yeah, and then I have been watching Yellowstone. Sex Education has new episodes on Netflix. I don't know if either of you watched Sex Education. I think
No.
Holly loves it.
Yeah,
so
it's-
she's watching it through, and then I'm gonna, when I start it, she'll rewatch it with me.
it's good. It's funny.
Likes it. It's British.
It's British. It's about a kid. His mother is a sex therapist, and he's in school and he's like very awkward. But he starts up like on the side to like make extra money. He starts up like a sex therapy, like little like practice, and he does it in an abandoned bathroom outside the school, and like people come and like take
Interesting.
advice from him. It's just very funny and like anyway.
Jess started watching Yellowstone, by the way.
Jeff did.
Jess.
Jess.
Yeah, because she had texted me about because I told her that you guys watched it, and I told her about the whole cowboy succession thing. And she said, no, it's like Sons of Anarchy in Montana, but like Kevin Costner's Gemma.
Yes, that's.
Well, but it's way more realistic. Sons of Anarchy is like ridiculous.
I mean,
I can see them getting away with what they get away with in Yellowstone because they're on this ranch with
but I don't
no.
know.
Like no oversight.
Yeah, like there's no cops. It's like the wildlife cops are like the law of the land, but like this guy has his like family ranch for centuries.
I disagree. He talks to the governor every other episode. he's
Okay, I need to watch this show.
Like he's with. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want. I mean, that's not a spoiler.
No,
but, like, he's talking
it's
with
funny.
like the governor of Montana
What's the governor gonna do? She's not the
Why
police.
is he talking with the governor of Montana?
because he's the
Because he's got to get in with the political clout.
He's a lot. He's the John
livestock
Dutton is the livestock commissioner, which is if you ask me, it's a huge.
Conflict of interest?
Yes, massive.
Obviously.
And so he just abuses his power. So.
But Kevin
Is
Costner
that
is extremely
Kevin
likable.
Costner? Okay.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too. He's
Obviously.
extremely likable, but you maybe shouldn't like him.
No, he's an
Love Kevin
anti-hero.
Costner. That's another reason why I was shocked no one was a fan of The Bodyguard last time.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was too obvious.
No, the movie does nothing for me. I'll say that.
You mean the title was too obvious of what the plot was?
No, it was too obvious to pick for a soundtrack.
They meant
Like,
the movie was too obvious.
No. Like, yes, it was the best-selling soundtrack of all time. Obviously, it was a good soundtrack. Whitney.
Love Whitney.
So Yellowstone, it's good. It's good. It's the first 3 episodes of season 3 are kind of duds. I'm not gonna lie. Like
What's it
nothing,
on?
literally nothing happened.
On Peacock.
Peacock,
Oh.
but it's originally on Paramount, a
So
channel
it's
that
on
nobody
the Paramount
has.
Network, which is a subsidiary of CBS. Yet Peacock, which is the streaming service of NBC, owns the streaming rights.
It's the
Are any of these free?
No,
no,
but
it's
Peacock is like $10 a
$4.99.
month. I'll give you our login if you want, and you can watch wrestling.
Oh, my favorite. Done.
I have the free one with ads. It's like $4.99.
Yeah. So it's not free.
No, it's not. It's the one with ads. It's $4.99 with ads. Yeah, is what I meant to say.
Matt still gives the money.
Donation.
They say it's with Matt. Please stop paying us. And then I also watched for the first time Bo Burnham's special on Netflix, Inside.
I want to see this.
Yeah, which was robbed at the Emmys, if you ask me.
Who won?
Hamilton. But listen, I love
Matt.
Justine.
Be
Did you
very,
think- Justine,
very
no.
careful.
Did you think Hamilton was not going to win?
No, but that's
Come on.
No. That's not what I'm doing here. I love Hamilton. It's probably my most listened to musical. Definitely. Is.
No, Mamma Mia is your most listened to music.
Yeah, I guess if you count that, yeah, right. Well, I've never actually seen Mamma Mia. I've only seen the movies.
They're playing it every year at the theater by the sea. Whenever
I
we
gotta
go to
go,
Roy Carpenter's Beach, that sign.
I saw Grease there. It was so good.
Yeah,
At the
usually-
Theater by the Sea.
every year, every time we drive by, every summer, I'm like, oh, they're playing Mamma Mia again.
Maybe I'll go.
Big
Oh,
fan.
maybe next year I'll go.
Mamma Mia almost. Have you been doing this Broadway brackets thing that GMX brother does?
Yes. Yeah.
Mamma Mia, very close there.
Yeah, I was texting everybody to vote
It was
for
against
it.
Hamilton.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And I was like,
Oh, wow.
I was like, but it can't.
It can't.
Mamma Mia can't be.
No, it's like,
So anyway, I love Hamilton. I saw it in Boston. I saw it in Providence. I've seen the Disney Plus. But this is it won an Emmy for the recording on Disney Plus, which I think is unfair. The play is from 2015, 2016, 2015. Like I don't know how it can win an Emmy for the recorded version of it. I don't think that's fair. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
it's not original. It's not
like it
original.
wasn't like a new thing this year.
Yeah, it wasn't
that
new.
they-
No,
yeah.
and I'm sure there's other times in history with things like this have happened where it's a reimagining of it or whatever. But it's not even a reimagining. It's the exact play, but just filmed so
Maybe it's
it can
because
be watched.
because of how they filmed it.
I guess
it's pretty impressive.
and then I will say that they did a good job, but it's
That's
not
hard.
original.
That's hard to just not set up the camera and have them.
Yeah, it is.
But I know what you're saying.
They
It's
did do a
not
good job
like-
because you can't.
It's like they rewrote something this year. It's like this is something.
Yeah, and especially with so anyway, back to Bo Burnham's Inside. It was so good and so original, and he did all of it himself and sold it to Netflix. It's just like it's not better than Hamilton. It's two different things, but it was incredible what he did. Have you watched
No,
it?
is it like a TV show?
No, it's a comedy special.
Is it kind of like the special that we liked on Hulu? That guy, the magician guy? Or different.
No, different.
Magician.
So, yeah, Derek Gaudino.
Yeah.
Gaudino. He did In and of Itself on Hulu, which is something I highly recommend.
Yes.
It's a magic show.
It's a
It's like a one man like spoken word show, but he's also like a very very good like illusionist.
yeah.
But he tells like a story while he's doing magic and illusions, and like each show is like a singular show for that audience.
Yeah.
And then he like it, but I don't know. It's hard to describe, but
You start
it's not comedy at all.
sorry, tangent talking about this. It's so good. It was a show done in New York, a live show, and every week they would do 2 shows, and they were back to back. And one show they would give the book to, or I guess they would do I don't know how many in a row they would do it, but they would do it, and every episode they would give someone a book halfway through it, and be like, you have to leave, take this book with you, come back tomorrow, and in the book while you're gone you have to write what you think the rest of the show is going to be like. And it's just like this weird quirky show. It's very good, and he does a crazy illusion shit, but anyway, but it's not like a Chris Angel thing. It's like
That's
he's
what I
a
was
story
picturing.
he's a storyteller, and he mixes in all this really cool illusion stuff in it. But anyway, Bo Burnham's Inside, it was he did it while he was in quarantine during COVID. And if you don't know Bo Burnham, he's a comedian, but when he does stand-up, he's with a piano, and he just does songs and like little things in between songs. He was by himself in his house the entire quarantine. He bought a camera, bought lighting, bought all this crazy shit, and he did a show like himself. And it's basically, and it also like it kind of captures the moment of like his like mental health like decline and incline and decline. It's tremendous. It's very, very good, and the music is very catchy and very funny, and it's not anything like you've seen before, I think.
Did you guys watch the Emmys?
No.
No,
Me either.
just the results
Shouldn't have the Emmys during football season.
stuff.
I'm going to watch Sunday Night Football
Stuff.
every time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend Bo Burnham's Inside. It's on Netflix. I think it's only an hour or a little over an hour. It's good.
Excellent. It's on my list. Justine?
So I watched the Brooklyn Nine-Nine finale, which was very enjoyable. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
You
It was true,
watched?
true to the show.
No. Yeah, I thought it was very true to the show.
It sucked.
But
It's still,
they rushed through that whole season.
I know. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, that's what
very
your
annoying.
complaint with it, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's barely like there was a season. It's like they were doing 2 episodes. They were releasing 2 episodes at once.
It was
wasn't-
basically 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was like nothing. Like I'm sure it was a short season anyway because it was the last season, but it was almost like we didn't have one at all. Like
What was the reasoning for it?
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's like the social.
I think it was
issue
like
of,
the social
cops.
blowback of like portraying cops as you
Funny
know,
people?
Funny people.
But you
or,
know
like,
what?
people who
I
should
feel like
be
that has
horrible.
nothing to do with the show. Like it's
doesn't.
basically a workplace comedy. It doesn't matter what they do.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also not. It's a very inclusive show.
Yeah.
It's not just like
And they're not
10
like,
white
and they're
people.
good. Yeah, and they're good cops, and like they're like,
right. Yeah.
like scumbags or anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
and I feel like they've tried to. They've had storylines
Mm-hmm.
that like the Terry storyline where he was like racially profiled
Yeah,
in his
and they had
neighborhood.
storylines
and-
this season too about like
Yeah, which
the issues.
they do it so well, but it's like one of those. It's really one of the only comedies I look forward to
Yeah.
on TV, like on network TV. Not including like Hulu, Netflix, all that stuff.
Yeah, I
And it was so well done and so well cast, and I don't know, it just
Yeah.
kind of sucks they rushed out of it.
Was it planned to end here, or did they?
No, it was planned. This was the last season.
So then,
Yeah.
what was like the worst case scenario?
Yeah,
if they just
seriously,
do
I
like a
don't know.
normal season and like they're leaving it like it's ending anyway.
Even if you do like 12 episodes, or like
Yeah.
14 episodes, I don't know. It just kind of the finale was great.
Yeah,
It was true to form. I love Fred Armisen's like character.
it was really good.
Yeah.
I wanted more Adrian Pimento, obviously.
Yes. Yeah, the guy who plays Rafi plays. That's my bedtime. The guy who.
That happens every episode.
Yeah. Well, now it puts my phone on silent, so if I get a call the rest of the night, I can't pick up. But have you watched any episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah, so Adrian Pimento is Rafi in the league.
Yeah.
So he had a cameo. Like they brought people back, but
Yeah,
just
sad.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Only Murders in the Building. Great. Have you started
Like
watching it
it?
yet?
No.
Gotta
Love
watch
it.
it.
Not yet.
I will say,
It's so fun.
it's starting to get glaringly obvious who doesn't fit in here between Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez.
Ryan hates Selena Gomez.
Yeah, I don't know if I like seeing. I'm gonna save
So
my.
we were talking
personal-
about this on the right
Yeah.
here, and Justine, you had a good point
What did I say?
about Steve Martin
Oh,
and
yeah,
Martin
yeah,
Short
yeah.
are bringing in a certain audience.
Yeah, they're bringing in a certain demographic. So it's for people like of our generation and up who know them. Whereas like they probably needed someone to pull in a younger viewing, and they couldn't just pick an unknown.
Yeah.
So they have Selena Gomez. Random, yes. She doesn't bother me as much as she bothers Ryan.
She's just not. I think it's because she's like almost all of her scenes are with Steve Martin and Martin Short, and they're so great, together. And then she's there.
But they're also very like you need someone to also bring them down a bit because they're
You
so.
do, but I just think it can be done.
especially like Martin Short's up here,
Yes,
Steve
at
Martin's
all.
here. Like you need someone down.
Yeah.
Like you've got the.
Her voice bothers me.
I know it does. I haven't really noticed it.
I haven't.
I mean, well, she's not an elderly man.
I think I've only ever heard her song.
I just don't like her. I don't know.
So I don't.
I mean, it's
She has-
random.
I love her music.
It's random, but she's not bothering me that much.
I would think that
She's there.
the people that like her crowd, like the audience that she's pulling in, I would think that they would hate Steve Martin and Martin Short.
That's the thing. That's why it's probably like that's probably a strategy
I
for
don't
them to
think
pull in
so. I
everyone.
think-
But Martin Short and Steve Martin are just like
Lovely.
insane. Like they're
Yeah.
awesome.
And I
They're
do
so
like
funny
they
together.
they play into a lot of the jokes of like the technology stuff. So it's like, oh, call her, and he's like, I don't think people of her generation like speaking on the phone. Like we'll send her a text, stuff like that.
But like they signed their texts.
Yeah, like sincerely Raymond Holt.
It's great, and I have so many theories. I'm not going to say anything here because I'm not going to spoil anything. But
See,
maybe we'll talk on the ride home.
Yeah, I have some theories too.
What else did I have on my list?
You have Ted Lasso.
Oh, love Ted Lasso. We binged the first season like earlier, like a few months ago, so now it's hard waiting week to week, but it's really good this season. This season they're focusing more on, like, I know that you kind of started, it's on your list too, I'm assuming, right?
It is, yeah.
Like the first season was more Ted, whereas this season it's more about like, you're seeing the team alone, like without him or any of the coaches. You're seeing like things about like the other coaches and everything. It's not really, he's kind of like a background character this season, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And I like I'm 6 episodes in, so I have 3 to watch, and then the finale is Friday, I think.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, damn it.
I think it's only 10 episodes. So I have 7, 8, and 9 to watch, which I'll get to.
Who's your favorite character?
I don't know. I really like Roy Kent.
Yeah.
He's really good. But I think it's one of those shows that, like, the reason I like season 2 better than 1 is because it's a show that gets better the more you know the characters and their relationships with each other, which obviously season 1, you have to build that. You never met these people before. But I do appreciate that in season 2, they're focusing more on the side characters.
Yeah.
I love Coach Beard.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. Coach Beard. But there's so many good characters. I like Jamie Tart, too. I mean, I don't know.
I do, too. And
Yeah.
I liked him.
He's, you know, he is who he is.
And he's fine now. Like, he's not a problem
No.
anymore, really. But
Yeah.
I feel like I always liked him. I love Danny Rojas. I think
Yes.
he's my favorite. It's just,
Football is life.
he's just so happy.
Football is
Gotta watch him, Matt.
I got well. Now, yeah, I'm gonna wait till it's all out, and then
I think the finale is Friday, and then you can watch all 2 seasons.
I'm gonna because I have to also watch. The real reason why I'm gonna resubscribe is because Morning Show, because I love that.
It's already back.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm getting it for the second season of that as well.
Oh, and then Apple TV, Come From Away. They did like a Hamilton thing. They did it for the anniversary of 9/11.
So I didn't know that. I'm gonna watch that. That's
It's
cool.
fantastic. Did you see it when it came here?
Yes,
It's a great show.
it is a good show. It didn't blow me away, and none of the numbers.
Oh, I
were
think I was just
technically-
sitting there crying.
Were memorable, but yeah, it was very powerful.
Like,
in
I
that
feel like
way.
everyone in the theater was just sitting there like, do you know what it's about?
No.
So it's about like when 9/11 happened, all the planes were grounded. The planes were grounded
Yep.
because like the U.S. airspace was closed, and it was about like 38 planes or something like that had to land in this town in Newfoundland called Gander. Like they had like they used to have the biggest airport because the planes used to have to stop and refuel, but now they can go cross country, so they don't need to do that. So they had this old airport and they just grounded all these planes there. So it's about like this town kind of like all these people coming in, like not knowing what happened, like trying to get home to like America and realizing, you know, what happened back home, and like kind of this town welcoming them in and, you know, like supporting them and, you know, like making them food, giving them clothes, like trying to make them comfortable, and the relationships they formed. And it's just really like, it's a very touching, like very poignant. It's just nice.
Is it
you know,
a show?
No, it's a Broadway show.
Okay.
And they filmed like a live version of it, kind of like Hamilton. They did that for the anniversary. It's just very poignant. It's sad, obviously.
Yeah.
Like it's really sad, but it's like just touching about like how there are decent people in the world and like the stuff that they did for these people, and they still all keep in touch. And like they go back for reunions and stuff like that, and like form relationships. But
Yeah.
it's a great show. And there's no like there's not like a lead. Like I was watching it and Jeff was like, well, so did you see it with like the rich, you know, who was in it? And I'm like, it's no one you'd know. I was like, that's
more
kind of
about
the
the
point of
story.
it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like like all the characters, they play like multiple roles. So they'll like be like a citizen of like the town Newfoundland. There'll be someone from America. There'll be like someone else. Like they play like a tons of different roles.
Cool.
Very good.
And you also have on here Sesame Street
Oh, a lot of Sesame Street in my house now. Not for me. I have a 15-month-old.
for Jeff.
For Jeff.
Oh,
But
actually,
when he's like eating dinner or something and we can't sit with him, we're doing something, we'll put on Sesame. He loves it. He loves Elmo.
does he have a favorite character? Or?
Elmo. He loves Elmo.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's just so,
Elmo gets all the glory.
all the glory. And then you sit there and you watch it, you're like, this is a great show. It's a great show. They
Great
teach
learning
great
show.
lessons to kids
They mix in celebrities.
and to
right?
adults.
It's
Oh, yeah,
like-
celebrities in there all the time.
Yeah.
The songs play in my head. Like, I can't sleep sometimes, and I have to play something else. These stupid songs play in my They're so catchy. Love Sesame Street. I tried to find Muppet Babies for him the other day.
Muppet Babies is a great show.
Great show.
Is that not on Disney?
It's not on Disney Plus. They have all the Muppet stuff, but there is something called Muppet Babies. I put it on, and I was like, ooh, this is fun. And it's some weird computerized, like, futuristic
Oh,
version. Like, it's
no.
bizarre.
Oh,
Like,
God.
they don't look like Muppet Babies. It's
Damn.
creepy. And I was like, what?
Oh, where? Did you look up where you can stream it?
I don't think you can stream it everywhere. You know how, like, they only have some things because of like rights. I don't know what rights are you talking about. You guys have all the Muppet stuff.
Right.
Who's holding on to Muppet
Yeah,
Babies and being like,
who's
nobody
no,
will
you
watch
can't see
this?
Yeah, like we're gonna start this new streaming service with Muppet Babies.
Oh my
It's
God.
pinnacle.
The Lion King I watched the other day because I was like, I can't watch
The
more
Beyonce
I can't
version?
watch more Sesame Street.
Oh,
no, the
weird.
original.
That is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah, it's so
That's
creepy. Look
weird.
at them.
Oh, that's a
That-
sin.
I don't like it.
No.
It's like I can't watch this.
No.
I can't subject my child.
You also have Without a Trace on here.
Oh, Without a Trace.
Is that also for Jack?
No, that's for me. So if I'm working and I like want to have the TV on and I don't feel like listening to a podcast or music, I'm like, I need to put on a show, but it needs to be like nothing I need to really pay attention to, but
Yeah.
something that I can enjoy. So I like procedural crime dramas while I'm working. And I came across this on
Like everybody else.
Yeah, who doesn't? I came across it on HBO the other day, and it's about missing persons. It's definitely like, I don't know what it was on. It's got that real like TNT, USA, Law and Order vibe. It's just about like missing persons cases. And every new case every episode. It's fine. You wipe the slate clean, new case every
Kinda
episode.
like that.
Someone's disappeared, how do they find them? And it makes you think, like if I disappeared, what would people say about me when they're interviewing? Like saying, like trying to find out where I've gone. And it's,
I tell you what, they don't want to talk to Ryan.
no,
Just
no.
planting
Lies,
calls.
lies.
It's just lies.
So I wouldn't call it necessarily a good show. I like it because I can like jump in and out and I can like work out on theories in my head. And it helps me when I'm working if I'm like thinking of something else too.
Kind of like a guilty pleasure show.
Yeah, why not? And you know, sometimes they go way too much into the personal drama of the detectives. I'm like, I don't care about this. Can you
Not-
just show me? Can you
not
just
now.
get back to the case?
Right.
Like, I don't care about your love life. But but yeah, so like it's all on HBO. So
Have you ever seen? Obviously, you've seen Unsolved Mysteries, like the Robert Stack, like the original one. But they also have Netflix did a couple new seasons of new stories.
oh really?
Yeah,
No, I
very
haven't
good.
watched it.
I put those on. Like I've seen them a bunch of times. I put them on in the background all the time. They're very good.
I listened to a podcast called Anatomy of a Murder. And it's about like they go over real cases, and it's like a former New York City prosecutor and a former like sheriff and an investigative reporter, and they kind of go over the cases of like these crimes, how they caught them,
That's
like what the court outcome was.
Do you listen
Very
to a
good.
lot of crime podcasts?
I wouldn't say a lot. I guess a good amount.
I love Up and Vanished.
Up and Vanished is good.
Yeah, there's a new season right now. It's very, very good. That and Murder with My Husband.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
It's very good. It reminds me of, well, it's just like so. I don't think they give their actual names, but it's husband and wife, and the wife knows everything about the huge.
Oh, okay. It's
murder.
not about a murdering couple.
No. So she knows everything about the case, and her husband basically just sits there and reacts to everything. It's very
That's actually really funny.
it's very so yeah. So it's good. Yeah, Murder with My Husband.
So my what I've been watching, very similar to yours, Justine. So Holly and I have quite a lineup going right now between all the streaming services.
Looks like.
We finally have like the perfect lineup. So Sunday nights we try to watch Walking Dead. Usually it's Monday, just because we can't stay up that late. We fall asleep. Then we're also watching. We were watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Only Murders in the Building comes on Tuesday. 9 Perfect Strangers, which just ended on Wednesday, on Hulu. Highly recommend. It's kind of like The White Lotus on HBO. It has like a similar theme. It's an ensemble cast. Like you're going to this like resort, this wellness resort. But it just ended. I like the ending. I think it's hard to do a good ending with a good ensemble cast because you have so many characters you're invested in. Because you have like Nicole Kidman plays like she's in charge of the resort, and then you have Michael Shannon is like it hits him, his wife, and his daughter are there, and they're there because their son committed suicide. So they're there for like that part to like kind of overcome that and like be well. Then you have Bobby Cannavale's there, and he is this like ex-football player who had like a gruesome knee injury, and now he's just kind of like an alcoholic, drug addict type thing, like could never overcome it, like doesn't know what to do next. Melissa McCarthy is this author who wrote like this best-selling book and now can't figure out what to do next. Samara Weaving from Ready or Not is in it. She plays this like Instagram model who's like very self-absorbed and obsessed with people she's never met. She's obsessed with people like commenting on her on Instagram. Who else? There's a couple other people in it, but so like you're really into all these characters. So when the finale came, they're trying to close up all these stories. But I thought they did a good job of it, but I would highly recommend it. It's definitely worth the journey. It's really good on Hulu. What We Do in the Shadows, I've been watching.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that was on my list. Yeah.
Did you watch the most recent one when they went to the casino?
So funny.
in Atlantic City.
I didn't see the new one. No.
When she thought she saw the Rat Pack. But it's like a Jersey, like a casino version of the Rat Pack.
Frank
She thinks
Sinatra's,
it's like the real Rat
Like
Pack.
impersonators?
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra's Asian.
Frank.
Frank, it's you. And they're like singing,
Oh
like
my
it's
God.
so.
funny.
What, do they have a history with the Rat
She
Pack?
does.
She
Yeah.
does, like the
okay,
real
okay.
Rat Pack.
Yeah. Right.
So she's like sitting in her chair and she's like, Frank, remember me?
Remember?
Like, remember? But whenever they do those episodes kind of like out of their house, it's a hit. It's really, really funny.
The car one is so funny. The line where Laszlo and Colin Robinson are fixing the car.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's like you call. Like, what does he call the part? The
He
car
goes, I
part?
don't know. You've been calling it like who's he, what's he the whole time? Man knows his car. It's so stupid, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
That show's just
Man knows his car.
It's so funny.
picked up where it left off the last season. Ted Lasso season 2, which I've been watching on my own. Holly's not interested, but I love it.
Holly.
I'm 6 episodes in. My favorite episode I think was 5. It's the one where Roy Kent comes back to coaching,
Oh, the rom-com
and,
one?
and She's a Rainbow is playing.
Yeah. And all the things are like from like
For all-
rom-com
yeah,
movies, like
from,
all the lines. Yeah.
Yeah, with his niece like going to the bully's house with the note card and stuff.
Did Holly watch it and not like it?
She just won't want to. She doesn't want to watch it, which is weird because she likes Jason Sudeikis. I think it's because I like it,
That could be it too.
Mm.
and she doesn't want to. I don't know. MasterChef Legends is over.
Legends.
Yeah, so it's cool. There was a twist this season. They would bring in legendary chefs from around the
Do
world.
you watch cooking shows?
I love The Great British Bake Off, but that's
Okay,
the
yeah, I
extent
watched
of
that.
it.
MasterChef is a great cooking
Every
show.
week, Ryan and Adam just gush
Love
over it.
MasterChef. Well,
It's so
Adam
good.
likes the children MasterChef.
Yeah,
doesn't
which
he?
Yeah, well,
which is
Jesus.
a red flag.
Yeah, he's a fool.
If we're being honest, it's a red flag.
It is.
I mean, we're crucifying Armie Hammer. We don't even know if he's eating someone. Adam's over here talking about little kids cooking.
Yeah. In like in the MasterChef Kids, there's like no. I don't even know if there's like winners or anything. Like they don't. They just judge them like, oh, hey, great job. No, what? But MasterChef Legends is cool because they have a legendary chef come in each episode as a guest judge. So instead of the 3 judges, there's 4. So like Emerald's there,
I was just gonna say Emerald. Yeah.
Julia Childs, who I thought we canceled, but she's back.
Wait.
Yeah. She
Not
didn't-
Julia
What?
Childs.
Yeah. Wait. No.
Well, hold on a second.
I know who you meant.
Paula
when you said
Deen.
Paula Deen. But yeah, you're right. She was also Paula Deen.
Well, I thought
Not
Julia Childs.
Julia Childs was not canceled.
She's
also
fine.
dead, isn't she?
She's dead. Yeah.
She's definitely dead.
Yeah.
She's definitely
She
dead.
was, by all accounts, a saint.
Yes. I'm sorry, Julia. I'm sorry, to Julia Child's family.
I think she helped, like I think she was like a secret agent during World War II or
Yeah,
something.
she lived the life. Paula Deen.
When I think of Julia Childs, I think of
Meryl Streep's version of
No, Phil Dunphy.
Julia Childs.
I think of Phil Dunphy.
Yeah.
I like the first impression is very important, Alex.
Save
I like
the
to do an
giblets.
I like to do an easy one.
I guess
Save the giblets.
Julie and Julia could have been a biopic.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually saw that on the list. But anyway, Paula Deen is one who I thought was canceled.
I think she was, and then
But I think people were like, well,
You know what? She was
She's
canceled
an
early
old Southern
before
lady.
like canceled became a thing.
And now she
so
came
maybe
back.
she kind of like.
but I will say
weaseled
she's
her way back.
very enjoyable as a judge.
she makes a great mac and cheese.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a
like
lot of
all
good desserts
onions.
too. Heavy in the sugar. Like Chef Morimoto from Iron Chef. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
No,
Who's the guy?
Guy Fieri.
Nope. He does like the street food in California. Roy Choi.
Oh yeah,
So he
does an
came and did
episode-
one.
Yeah.
So each like MasterChef legend that comes in, they do that episode's like dish they have to make based off of what those people do best. So then they're really judging, the chefs based on what they do. It's just a great show, and there's no drama. There's no like, because we used to watch Hell's Kitchen, and it was terrible because. Behind the scenes, it's like, go to hell. I'm like, I thought we were watching a cooking show. It's like, he's slapping my boyfriend. I'm like, wait a minute. But MasterChef is literally just the cooking. You only see them in the MasterChef kitchen cooking. So that ended, and the woman who won, I'm very happy. But who?
That's why I like the British Bake Off. They're all so nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all.
They're like
they
helping
actually
each
are all.
other. Like, what do you need? What do you need? I got time, and they're helping.
Yeah,
It's
because
great.
you have to for MasterChef. They give you what the dish is, and you can go into the kitchen, and there's every ingredient you could ever want. And I think you have like 2 minutes to get your ingredients, and then once you go back to your station, that's it. But some people will forget something, so then of course they make it like all dramatic, and Gordon Ramsay's like, well, what are you gonna do, and they have to go to like someone else like, please,
Do
I
they
forgot
all have to make the same
a
thing?
pinch of sugar. Yeah, for the most part.
I want a cooking show where
except in the finale. The finale, you can make a 3-course entree, whatever you want.
I want a cooking show where like the chefs sabotage each other, like steal an ingredient or like switch the label on an ingredient. Like this is actually powdered sugar.
No cooking
it's
would
not
get
flour.
done.
I love it. I would watch.
See,
it.
I'm in it more for how the dishes look.
Yeah, and for Adam, there's also like a junior version of that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just for kids.
It's like a little kid. He's
Little
like,
kid
"Hey, I made a hamburger." But I will say, in the Legends season, they have some cool. They had some cool challenges. So there was one where there was like a dividing wall between them, and you had 2 teammates, and you had to cook. It was actually kind of stupid. You had to cook, and you had to yell through the wall, but you had to make the same exact plate.
How big is the wall?
It's a huge, like, I don't know,
Like,
25 feet.
Like you
Why?
couldn't, like,
Oh no, you can't peek around. But
Why would this ever be anything any chef in the world would ever have to deal
so
with?
it was basically they showed you how to make the dish before. This is what it should look like. This is how you make it. Then you had to go and make it separately the same way. So you were shown how to do it. Like it was like how well you're listening and paying attention. And then you could go to your teammate and be like, "Hey, like I'm putting in the pasta now or whatever. Is that right? Yeah. How long? Oh, blah, blah."
Okay.
So it made sense at the time, but it's kind of funny. It's like, I can't hear you. But I would recommend MasterChef just in general. MasterChef Legends was really good. And we watched that Why the Last Man show. It's called the letter Y, The Last Man on Hulu. Really good. 3 episodes in. It's the one where there's like the catastrophic event where all the men in the world die. Like every mammal with a Y chromosome dies. And it just kind of shows like the aftermath of that. But it's cool because there's one male that survives. One male and his monkey. Not a youth, it's an actual monkey.
Okay.
But it's very good. It's very well done. And then we started watching The Lost Symbol, which is
the Dan Brown book?
yeah, it's a Dan Brown. So it's a new series on Peacock. And the guy who plays Robert Langdon is
Tom Hanks.
This is Tom Hanks. The actor is Ashley Zuckerman, and he was one of the main characters in that Fair Street trilogy on Netflix. I don't know if you saw it.
I never watched it.
It's really good. But he plays.
So I have a question about
Yes.
it because I did see a preview for it. Is it like supposed to be a young Robert Langdon?
Yes.
But doesn't The Lost Symbol take place after, like, The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons,
Mm.
and Inferno and all that?
I don't know.
Unless it's not based on the book.
It's weird. No, it is. It has to be. I mean, it's Robert. Like his character's name.
Yeah,
Robert
but I'm wondering if
Langdon.
it's based. Like, I don't know.
Well, because
I'll look it
it
up.
follows him. Like it's obviously like that actor who plays him is much younger than Tom Hanks in the movies. But it follows him. Like is a professor at Harvard.
What's the name of it?
The Lost Symbol. And it's like he has to be on a case of like his mentor gets kidnapped by this like cult or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what happened in the book.
It's only been 1 episode.
We
Yeah.
can call John Lynch and ask him.
It's very
He read half of the Da Vinci Code.
true.
I have his book at my house with the little note where he stopped reading.
Definitely retained it all too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike D. The thing he was using to keep track of where he was one of Mike D's business cards from when he was a DJ.
Oh.
DJ
Control.
Who could forget?
It'd be funnier if it was just a picture of Mike D.
The Lost Symbol is the
With
third
phone
book
number.
in Brown's Robert Langdon series and is set after the events of the Da Vinci Code. It follows Langdon as he's hired by the CIA to solve a series of complex, deadly puzzles related to the disappearance of his mentor, Peter Solomon.
It's weird that it's after. Maybe
Yeah,
they
but
just
he's-
fucked up with
Or
having
maybe they just
Tom Hanks
were like,
be
you know
the
what?
original.
Well, they kind of did. I love Tom Hanks, but he was not a good pick for Robert Langdon,
No.
the way he's described in
Yeah,
the book.
but I think this guy is good. Like it fits more of like the Robert Langdon
Do you know?
Although he
about-
seems young.
Yeah, he's young, but not too young. He's not like a child.
That's the movie that Adam would.
Yeah, that's
So it's a show.
Poor Adam.
it's a show.
Okay.
It's only been 1 episode, but it comes out on Fridays.
What's it on?
Peacock.
Ah, of course.
Peacock.
Freaking Peacock.
And then I meant to mention this last week, but so Norm Macdonald passed away, like I think right before our last podcast. So Conan O'Brien, who was a good friend of Norm's, it's weird. Like this is Conan, he's in between his talk shows. So I feel like all the late night hosts could have done a monologue on Norm and how funny he was and stuff, but Conan doesn't have that outlet. So he does have his podcast, which is hysterical. Conan
funny.
O'Brien Needs a Friend. So he, Andy Richter, and one of his longtime producers did like an hour episode.
Smiley.
Robert Smiley.
Robert Smiley.
Yeah. Did an hour episode on Norm Can't recommend it enough. It was really funny. And, you know, like sentimental, but not sad. But just talked about how he was just like, he was the most unique like guy, like a Canadian through and through, like very polite, very nice guy, but the most like viciously funny guy ever. And they went through like all his hits. And Holly and I last Saturday literally spent hours watching all his YouTube when he did Weekend Update, and he would refuse to stop talking about OJ.
Oh my God.
And the head of NBC at the time told Lorne Michaels, he's like, I'm going to fire Norm Macdonald if he does another OJ joke. OJ's my friend. And Norm Macdonald's like, he's on trial for murder.
Yeah.
And then he did the joke where...
The stabbing happened?
Yeah. Where it's like, things went crazy at the OJ Simpson trial today when Johnny Cochran held up a knit cap. They said they found it at the crime scene, and OJ yelled out, "Hey, that's my lucky stabbing cap."
Be careful with that.
Yeah, it's so stupid, but like his delivery like made it funny.
He did, there's 35 minutes of him doing OJ jokes.
Yeah.
And one of them is like one of the times when he was on SNL doing Weekend Update, Johnny Cochran was like, during the trial, they were talking about his, or the news was talking about his domestic abuse issues because he had it in his past. And he's like, and Johnny Cochran responded with, he's like, well, I mean, I just beat her. I didn't kill her like somebody I know.
It's not funny, but it's like the way he delivers it is so funny.
He was awesome. Artie Lang did like a 12-minute thing, like Artie Lang's podcast. I even forget the name of it, but he did it for like a hot second, and then he relapsed, but he stopped. But on the same feed, he did a little like 12-minute segment of Norm. And the funny story with them two is that Artie would open for Norm, and then eventually when Howard Stern had Norm on his show for the first time, he was like, "Hey, can I bring my guy Artie up? He loves you." And he brought Artie in, and then eventually Artie replaced the other guy that was on his show. But anyway, he was a co-host with Artie
Forever,
for
right?
a long time, for a very long time, yeah.
Well, on the Artie one, he was talking about like they were degenerate gamblers, and they would do a thing where they would bet the over-under of a game. So say if you would bet a basketball game, the over-under is usually around like 200 or something, you know, the combination of both teams' points.
Yeah.
But then you could do, I think it was called a hot shot or something.
Lightning bet.
Lightning bet.
Yeah.
So say the over-under is 200, you could bet $100 that it's going to go over. And then you could also do a lightning bet where you get $100 every point it goes over that.
Oh my God.
Or you'd lose $100 for every point it goes under. And they bet, it was the Bulls Jazz finals, and it was the lowest scoring NBA finals game in history. And Norm Macdonald bet $1,000 a point
On the over.
Oh
my God.
And it was under by like 80 points.
Oh my God.
And he lost because he's been on, he's like, he lost his fortune twice
Yeah.
gambling. And I followed him on Twitter when he was still alive, and he loved gambling every night. He's like, these are my picks. He would gamble on golf, like crazy stuff, but well worth a listen. That podcast in general is well worth a listen.
Yeah, it's really funny.
That's it. That's what I got.
Very good. Justine, please come back for another episode.
Yes,
Thanks for having
this was
me.
lovely.
Yeah.
Well,
anytime.
Adam's gone next week too, right?
I would think so.
Yeah,
He said 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even if he is, like, he's probably
Yeah.
too busy watching, I don't know, toddlers and tiaras.
Children's shows.
So,
Little rascal.
so.
Leaves for one time.
Just that's it. He's a pedophile. Yeah. Thanks for coming. That was a great draft. We will definitely get this one up on Twitter for people to vote on who they think had the strongest draft. Lindy, when I explain to Lindy what the draft is, she doesn't understand. She's like, "Okay, you draft them." And then she's like, "But then what do you do with them?" Like, we just draft them.
I'm like, they're ours.
He's like,
We
"But
own them."
Yeah. So anyway, but anyway, we'll vote.
Well, maybe
for
when
them
she
on
can
Twitter.
vote, she'll
Yeah.
understand it a little more.
Yeah. Anyway, so Adam's not
She's
doing
gonna
it, so
vote.
she
She's
can't-
gonna vote against Adam.
She usually
right.
goes very harshly against Adam.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. That's Average Nobody's podcast. Average Nobody's podcast. 131. Right.
131 92321.